From pretty much the present, this is your host, Adam Graham, welcoming you to a week of old-time radio detective podcast from 2013. Because these podcast episodes are quite old, offers and information contained in them are not valid unless they are reflected on our website at greatdetectives.net. Now enjoy a week of podcasts from our archives at the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. Welcome to the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio from Boise, Idaho. This is your host, Adam Graham. If you have a comment, email it to me. Box13 at greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Detectives and become one of our friends on Facebook. Facebook.com/Radio Detectives. Before we do get started, I want to thank everyone who has gone to JohnnyDollarAir.com for making their travel plans. It's a great way to support the show. JohnnyDollarAir.com is a Priceline.com affiliate. So if you do your search there and you find a good deal that'll work for you, then you just go ahead and purchase it. And part of what you purchase on the site, whether it's through one of the great publish specials you can get there, or by naming your own price, part of your purchase goes to support the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. So when you travel, remember JohnnyDollarAir.com. Speaking of the man with the action-packed expense account, it's time for a new Johnny Dollar series. We begin with the Henderson matter.
From Hollywood, it's time now for
Johnny Dollar.
Tim Connors, John boy. Congratulate me.
Congratulations, Tim. What for?
I just had another boy. 7 pounds, 12 ounces. Hey, you like cigars?
Sure.
Well, come on down and pick one up. Oh, maybe you better pack a suitcase, too. I got one for you out in Culver, Montana.
Where's that?
I just told you. Out in Montana somewhere. We have a debt policyholder there named Henderson.
Henderson, huh?
Yeah. Now, we don't know if he was murdered, committed suicide, or had an accident.
Well, what does it look like?
All three.
Okay, Tim, be there in an hour.
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Paramount Insurance Adjusters, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Henderson matter, whatever it's going to be. Expense account item 1, $1.25 for a detailed map. I had an idea that Culver, Montana was a place that only Rand McNally might know about. They did. I found it tucked up in the high northern corner of the state near Great Falls.
Hey, where's your bag?
Home.
I told you to pack it. Now, look,
Give me
John.
a cigar, Tim. Tell me about the new boy and the new case.
Okay, have a chair. There you are. I wouldn't smoke it if I were you. Terrible. Cost me $2 a box. Hey, you know something? I'm thinking of naming the new boy Johnny.
Oh, tough case, huh?
Yeah. Look, we're in the same sweet old spot, Johnny. Same old problem. One of our policy holders is dead, and for looking into the circumstances of his death, the insurance company is no longer a friend of the widow and orphan, but a big, bad monster trying to weasel out of a just claim.
All claims are just claims, or are they?
Well, of course they are. No one ever tried to pull a fast one on an insurance company. Well, the world's full of nice, honest, straight-playing people.
Uh-huh. Now tell me about getting sandbagged in a poker game.
Look, I want to get this out of the way and get back over to the hospital and see my wife. Now, John, this claim came into the insurance office yesterday afternoon, airmail special. The insurance company turned it over to me today.
What company?
Western. The policy's worth $25,000 face value, double indemnity if death was by accident. No payment for suicide.
Uh-huh. You say the man's name was Henderson?
Yeah, it says here George Walter Henderson, Montana rancher. Last Thursday, he fell 4 stories out of a hotel window in Culver and died instantly. At least that's what we have in this report here. Somebody could have shoved him, or he could have taken the leap. Now we have to know for certain.
Oh, what's on the claim report?
Accidental. There was no inquest, no police investigation, and that's not good enough for us.
Uh-huh. This Henderson prominent?
Well, he was big enough, Johnny. Cattleman, rancher. He was also a major stockholder in the only newspaper in Culver, so I doubt if his paper'd suggest suicide or anything else, do you?
I don't know, Tim. I never met the editor.
Well, meet him if you like. Talk to him. Talk to anybody in Culver. Find out what was what.
Phew, this is a lousy cigar.
Johnny, you know how to handle these things. We have to have more information than this.
Have you tried to do anything on it at all?
Yeah, I phoned the sheriff's office long distance and talked to a man named Holton, Eve Holton. He said he'd be happy to cooperate.
What else?
I phoned the beneficiary to get some information. Name's Pauline Henderson, his widow.
Is she going to cooperate, too?
I don't think so, pal.
Huh?
She hung up on me.
We will continue with the Henderson matter in a moment.
Friends, how'd you like to thrill your favorite youngster with some of the most exciting toys of the year? Picture the breathless excitement of any child surrounded by 6 gaily colored balloon-like giant animals up to 3 feet long, and all for the low price of just $1. First, you get Bounzo the clown with round pot belly and funny nose. Next comes Hoppy the Australian kangaroo. Third, there's Roscoe the roller skating bear. He's 2 feet tall and looks almost like real. Fourth, there's Whitey the fat indoor snowman. And fifth, Mortimer the giant mouse, 18 inches long and sure to scare the whiskers off any cat. That's 5 different giant animals. But now hold your breath for the most sensational toy of all, the star of the whole Christmas season, the jolly giant talking Santa Claus. Guaranteed to make everybody's Christmas a merrier one. He's a big roly-poly happy Santa. He stands erect on 2 legs, is actually over 3 feet tall and 32 inches around. Best of all, he actually talks. Just pull the tape and he says, "Merry Christmas" for all to hear. He's the biggest, merriest talkingest Santa ever. Sure to please your youngsters and spread good cheer. Yes, Giant Santa proves there really is a Santa Claus. That's a total of 6 giant animals made of brightly colored preformed sturdy latex, which the kids can easily inflate. And the cost just $1, not for each. Just $1 for all 6 of these lovable giants who'll turn your home into a circus parade. And here's a surprise. Mail your order today and you'll also receive absolutely free Peter the Rabbit, actually over 2 feet tall with big red ears almost 9 inches long. But you must send now. Rush $1 plus 10 cents for packing and mailing for each set you want to Giant Animals, Box 90, Grand Central Station, New York City. If not delighted with every one of your 7 giant animals, return them to the Super Animals Company for a full refund, but keep the giant talking Santa as our gift. Order now. Supplies are limited. Rush $1.10 for packing and mailing for each set in cash, check, or money order to Giant Animals, Box 90, Grand Central Station, New York City. That's $1 plus 10 cents with your name and address. Mail to Giant Animals, Box 90, Box 90, Grand Central Station, New York City. Giant Animals, Box 90, Grand Central Station, New York City.
Expense account item 2, $185.65. Airfare, Hartford, Connecticut to Great Falls, Montana. The nearest point I could make to Culver by air. Item 3, $3. I took the train to Culver. Sometimes when I'm having nightmares, I dream about the smelter stack standing up against the cadaverous hills that lie to the south of town. Everything, including the 3 or 4 feet of snow covered with a uniform dinginess, made Culver an ugly little town set in an ugly notch between 2 ugly mountains. The only hotel in town was the Butte. It happened to be 4 stories high. It also happened to be the place where George Henderson had met his death. Okay, just a minute.
Mr. Dollar?
Yeah.
I'm Eve Holton, sheriff here.
Huh?
You're from the insurance people, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Been expecting that you'd be in sooner or later.
Well, I'm glad to meet you, Mr. Holton.
Call me Eve, son. Everybody does. Hey, got a drink on you?
And no, I haven't.
Well, I got one on me. Nice and chilly, too.
Well, I'll see if there's some glasses around here, Sheriff. You didn't waste any time looking me up.
No, I guess I didn't, son. Thought it'd save a little time this way. Knew you'd be looking me up sooner or later. Really thought we ought to have this drink together. Private. May not have any more together while you're here.
Uh-huh.
Well, health and happiness, boy.
Same to you.
Now, this drink we're having, this is in your room, and I'm just a fellow welcoming you to Culver. In my office or on that street out there, I'm a sheriff, and I'm going to be real official.
All right, go on.
I want you to notice I'm not asking any questions of you, son. I'm just answering anything that you might want to ask me right now.
All right.
You're going to have to plow ahead yourself on this one, pretty much alone. And let me tell you what kind of plowing you got in store for you. Excuse me. Now, first off, this is a little burg like you ain't used to. We got 3,500, 4,000 people living here. Some of them working that mine you seen on your way into town. Others hire out to work on the ranches around here. Some in business. Very tight little place. We hardly ever fool around with anybody else.
Sure.
Now, you're here because your insurance company don't like to pay off on a policy without knowing whys and wherefores. They don't like the word accident without knowing some of the details.
No, they don't.
There's a lot of people here, most people, who don't care about those details. As a matter of fact, son, they'd all just as soon put old George Henderson down on the ground and say it was an accident and let it go at that.
Well, maybe it was, Sheriff. I don't know. But I'm going to find out.
Yeah, well, now, let me go on. Those people who don't like the details don't like detail getters. You understand?
Yeah.
Scare you any?
Not yet.
You do all right, son. So, maybe you'd kind of like to get your coat on and come to a funeral with me. Starts at 3.
Henderson's?
Yeah. Give you a chance to look around, get the lay of the land.
Okay, good idea.
I wondered what kind of bull workers insurance companies turned out. I like you, Dollar. You're all right. You ain't bothering with any questions till you got some worthwhile asking. You tired?
A little.
Well, this won't take too long.
A half hour later, I was standing beside Sheriff Eve Holden on a flat-top hillside that served as a cemetery. The snow was white and gleaming under the winter sun of the mid-afternoon skies, the air cold and crisp.
To thee, our heavenly Father, who knoweth all things, we commit the body of our beloved to thy eternal care. Thy will be done. Trusting ever in thy mercy, we invoke the consolation of thy sheltering wing. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. In sure and certain hope of resurrection into eternal life, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Amen.
Yeah. Here. Oh, that's that.
Yeah.
Poor George.
Eve. Which one is Mrs. Henderson?
There.
That's Pauline Henderson?
Yeah, that's her.
Well, she can't be more than 25.
26, to be exact, Dollar. I went to her birthday party 2 months ago.
Well, how old was George Henderson?
59. Went to his party, too. Yeah. Pretty thing,
Very. Any other family?
Nope.
No other wife, huh?
Nope. Want to meet her?
No, not right now.
Well, suit yourself. Kind of thought you might start thinking when you got a look at her. Now, just keep on the way you're doing. You're doing fine. When there's something you got to know, you'll find out.
Well, Eve, I already know one thing.
Yeah? What's that?
I'm going to ask for a coroner's inquest.
Just from seeing her?
Just from seeing her.
You're a sly one, Johnny.
Johnny Dollar.
Eve Holden, how are you this morning?
Oh, pretty good, Sheriff. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm fine, dandy. You were over at the city hall this morning, huh?
Yeah, that's right. I requested the coroner to conduct an inquest into the death of George Henderson.
Yeah, I know. The coroner left it up to me.
Huh?
Yeah, came into my office and asked me if I had any reason to conduct an inquest into the death of George Henderson. I told him I didn't have any reason, but I'd do it if I was ordered to.
Well, what happens now?
Well, somebody'll have to decide whether there's going to be an inquest or not.
Who?
Mayor, I guess. I don't know. Anyhow, you stirred up some action, and you'll be getting it.
Yeah, where?
Just stay where you are, son. My guess is it'll come right to you.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Paramount Insurance Adjusters, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Henderson matter. The death of George Henderson of Culver, Montana, where I am today. A casual certification announced the death is accidental, having been received by a fall from a hotel window. No one in Culver seemed to be too worried about any of the details. But details are my job. That's why I requested the coroner's office to conduct an inquest. I took Sheriff Holton's suggestion and waited to see what my request flushed up in the dingy-colored mountains of Culver. An hour later, my first bird winged up to my hotel room. He was a tall, gray-haired man in a Stetson, earmuffs, and the western version of a Chesterfield. His Honor, Mayor Newton.
Mr. Dollar, I want to talk to you about this request you made for an inquest into George Henderson's death.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
You are aware, of course, that George's death, and he was one of my beloved and personal friends for many, many years, was a great blow to the entire community.
No, I didn't know that, Mayor Newton.
Huh?
Only the smallest part of the community were at his funeral yesterday afternoon. His widow and I'd say not more than half a dozen other people.
Well, I understand that your insurance company is not quite satisfied with the certification. Is that correct?
More or less.
What would they need to be satisfied, sir?
An exact knowledge of how Mr. Henderson fell out that hotel window.
I would rather no inquest were held into Mr. Henderson's death.
Why?
Why, sir, George Henderson is dead and buried. It should remain that way. If an inquest were to be held, it would only prove that George fell out of a window. I beg you to consider that, Mr. Dollar.
You seem very certain that an investigation would prove that death was accidental, man.
It was accidental. George fell out the window.
Well, now, I can't just tell that to my insurance company, can I?
We are a small community with a rudimentary police force, not equipped in any way for an exhaustive investigation, nor for the financial burden of such an investigation. I strongly urge you to reconsider this request for a coroner's inquest.
You do?
I do indeed. His untimely death was an unfortunate occurrence, outside the pale of any of our poor abilities to foresee. A terrible, terrible accident.
I'd like proof of that.
Proof?
An inquest, Mr. Mayor.
An inquest. All right.
We will continue with the Henderson matter in a moment.
My interview with Mayor Newton had convinced me that I'd get no real help from him in the Henderson matter. Quite the contrary. Expense account item 3, 20 cents, coffee, myself and Sheriff Eve Holton.
Well, you got it.
Huh?
At the direction of Mr. Jackson. That's our coroner. He deputized me temporarily to conduct an inquest. It's going to take place tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, City Hall.
Tomorrow, Sheriff.
Room 207.
Well, Eve, you won't have time to do anything.
No, I guess I won't. Not much, anyhow.
Oh, brother. The mayor pitched me pretty hard for not having the inquest.
Knew he would.
Any idea why?
Nope.
You think somebody asked him to stop it?
Yeah.
Who?
Don't know, Johnny. Honest.
The next morning, I struggled my way against a belligerent north wind to City Hall and the inquest, if you could call it that. I sat in the back of the room and listened while a Dr. Horace Nam assured the six-man jury that George Henderson was quite dead when he was called out of his office and examined him on the street. Dr. Nam reckoned George had died from a broken neck. An ancient bellhop, a desk clerk, and a chambermaid gave their versions of what had happened the day Henderson fell out the window.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I do, Sheriff.
I'm the acting coroner today, Miss Copley. Sit down. Now, when did you see Mr. Henderson last?
Last Thursday morning.
Where was this, Miss Copley?
At the Butte Hotel.
Mm-hmm. You know what time of the morning it was?
About 10 o'clock. I went in to make his bed and straighten up his room.
I see.
I made his bed while he worked on some papers there, and then I left.
Did you see him after that?
No, sir.
You didn't see him come downstairs for breakfast or anything?
No, sir.
Do you know if anybody went up to see him?
I believe I saw Mrs. Henderson in the lobby after that.
Do you see Mrs. Henderson in this room?
Yes, sir. I believe that's Mrs. Henderson over there.
No, that's Mrs. Henderson. Now, do you know if Mrs. Henderson visited Mr. Henderson in his room?
No, sir, I don't know that.
Miss Cubley, did you happen to notice if anyone else went up to Mr. Henderson's room that morning?
No, sir.
It went on all morning long. Sheriff Holton, acting in the coroner's position, questioned person after person. All had more or less the same vague knowledge concerning George Henderson's death. I was most interested in Pauline Henderson's testimony.
Now then, Mrs. Henderson, when did you last see your husband?
Thursday. I went to see him about noon, maybe a little before.
Where did you see him, Miss Henderson?
At the Butte Hotel, in his room there.
The same room he occupied prior to his death?
Of course.
The same room from which he fell?
Yes.
Were you alone when you went to see him, Mrs. Henderson?
Yes. I must have left before 12:30. I had an appointment at the dentist.
And that was the last time you saw your husband alive?
Yes. I was still in the dentist's chair when they told me he'd fallen out the window.
What did you and your husband talk about, Mrs. Henderson?
Must I answer that?
Well, we're trying to determine something here. I'd appreciate it.
George and I discussed our divorce.
Could you tell us about that?
George and I decided to part about a month ago. He moved out of the house and moved into the hotel.
Mm-hmm. Outside of the divorce, were you on good terms?
Oh, yes, we've always been on good terms.
Mrs. Henderson, do you think there's a chance that he might have thrown himself out that window? Mrs. Henderson, do you think he might have thrown himself out that window?
No. At least not over us, if that's what you mean.
As far as you knew, was your husband in good health?
Yes, he was.
You happen to know when he was examined last?
Oh, a month or so ago. He was in perfect health.
One more thing. Did Mr. Henderson drink?
Yes.
Did he drink that morning with you?
I think he had a couple of drinks. Yes, he had a drink or two while we were talking. He could have stumbled to that window.
The clothes were New York, the perfume Paris, the jewelry Tiffany's. The look, you might expect it on the Riviera, where everybody tries to act bored with too many good things in life. Her dress, black for the occasion of death, was cut too well and too carefully for her to pass as a grieving widow. She answered the questions without hesitation or emotion. 15 minutes later, the jury brought in the expected verdict.
Therefore, it is the opinion of this jury that the said deceased, George Walter Henderson, came to his death as a result of injuries incurred in a fall from the 4th floor of the Butte Hotel at or about 12:45 p.m. on the 19th day of this month. No evidence to the contrary, it is deemed and declared that the manner of death was accidental. Adjourned.
And that was it. As far as Culver's people, its police, and its mayor were concerned. Yeah, the mayor.
Well, Mr. Dollar, I hope you're satisfied.
It was a pretty good inquest, Mayor Newton.
I trust the official verdict of the jury will answer any questions your insurance company might have had on their minds and clear this whole matter up.
I'll forward it to them and tell them the circumstances under which the inquest was conducted, Mr. Mayor.
Satisfactory, I trust.
No, but it served a purpose. Now that everybody thinks it was an accident, everybody will breathe easier.
Certainly.
Yeah. If everybody's relaxing like that, somebody's going to get careless. See you, Mr. Mayor.
Johnny Dollar will be back in a moment to tell you about tomorrow's episode.
Friends, send for your set of some of the most exciting toys of the year. 6 giant inflatable toys for only $1, some up to 3 feet tall. You get Bounce-O the happy clown, Hoppy the Australian kangaroo, Roscoe the 2 feet long roller skating bear, Whitey the fat indoor snowman, Mortimer the giant mouse 18 inches long, and last but not least, the great giant talking Santa, a roly-poly giant over 3 feet tall and 32 inches around the belly that actually says Merry Christmas out loud when you pull the tape. That's 6 sensational giant toys for only $1, made of sturdy, gaily colored latex that the kids can easily inflate. Send $1 for each set to Giant Animals, Box 46, Grand Central Station, New York City. And if you order right now, you get Peter the Rabbit over 2 feet tall absolutely free. If not delighted with your Giant Animals, your money refunded immediately. Order today. You may never hear this offer again. Rush $1 plus 10 cents for packing and mailing in cash, check, or money order to Giant Animals, Box 46, Grand Central Station, New York City. That's $1 plus 10 cents for each set with your name and address. To Giant Animals, Box 46, Grand Central Station, New York City.
Now, here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's episode of The Henderson Matter.
People do get careless tomorrow, all over Culver, Montana. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by John Dawson, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure and join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
Welcome back. Well, I can kind of relate to this episode since my family lived in Montana for quite a few years, and I spent about 4 years living in a small town, actually smaller than Culver. It was this town of Eureka. Of course, it's an entirely different part of the state. An entirely different set of scenery. There are some places like Johnny Dollar described in part 1, where due to the way a lot of the mining was conducted in the 19th century, as well as in one part of the state, eastern part, they had kind of their own mini depression / dust bowl situation that saw a lot of areas get depopulated. You do have some less pleasant landscapes. The physical landscape much different up near Eureka. That's in the northwest part of the state, about 60-70 miles from Glacier. But I could imagine a lot of the social dynamics the same. If there, it would definitely be a sensation in that town if there were a death of a prominent citizen and insurance investigator was insisting it wasn't an accident, or really not buying what the local police have to say. So I could see some of this playing out, though perhaps not to the same extreme, just because of the sociological dynamics. All right, well, listener comments and feedback. We have quite a few from Johnny on Johnny Dollar. David says, Virginia Gregg was always fun to hear in these episodes. Thanks for playing them. Joyce says, we are hooked on Johnny Dollar. And a safety kitty post, we love your site and Johnny Dollar. And thanks so much. Appreciate your support, and I am also pleased when I see the we in there, which means that if anything, our counts of downloads and how many people are listening to the program are perhaps a bit understated. If so many are listening with friends and loved ones. So appreciate everybody out there that listens. And that will actually do it for today. Today's episode is brought to you by the financial support of our listeners. And especially want to thank Derek for his support. We'll be sending along access to the premium site, as we do with all donations of $7 or more. And you too can support the program at support.greatdetectives.net. Now we near the conclusion of our program, The Big Guy, with today's episode, Patent Leather Bag.
Oh, no, not again.
Please, Daddy, how tall are you? Tell us how tall.
Well, I'm 20'5" in my stocking feet.
How big are your shoes? What size do you wear?
Size 902 in a triple Z.
That's our Daddy, the big guy.
NBC presents The Big Guy in the final story of the current series of adventures of a very unusual detective, Joshua Sharp. Joshua Sharp works for his clients on a strictly cash basis to provide for the needs of his nearest and dearest, Josh Jr. and his daughter Debbie. To these two, Sharp is both father and mother. To his clients, he is a good detective. To Josh and Debbie, he's the friendly magician, the fabulous hero, the giant among giants, the Big Guy. Tonight's adventure with the Big Guy, the case of the patent leather bag.
One thing I've always emphasized to my kids has been the importance of keeping their word. If you can't keep a promise, don't make a promise, I've always told them. But once you've given your word, be bound by it. Keep it no matter what. I didn't expect Josh and Debbie at their age to latch onto it too thoroughly. My idea was to plant the seed by repetition so it would take root and flower at some later date. Certainly I was unprepared that morning at breakfast when I suddenly noticed the enormous black eye that had blossomed on my son and heir.
Now, it's all right, Daddy.
Josh, where in the world did you get that?
There's nothing to worry about.
Maybe not for you and me, Debbie, but it's Josh's eye.
Well, I put a little piece of beefsteak on it.
A shiner like that deserves a pound of beefsteak. Who gave it to you, son?
A kid.
What kid?
Just a kid. Now, tell the truth, Josh. Was that horrid little Tubby Denton.
Tubby Denton?
The fat one with the stick-out teeth in front.
Oh, the druggist boy.
Yeah, the druggist boy. He just walked up to Josh. I was watching, Daddy, and he hit him in the eye. Just like that. For nothing.
I see. Well, son?
Well, what?
How does Tubby look?
He never did look very good to me.
No, you know what I mean.
No, I don't.
What did you do to him?
Nothing.
Huh?
I didn't do anything to him.
You mean you let another kid paste you like that and get away with it?
Yeah.
Why, Josh, I'm surprised at you.
You are?
Of course I am. Did you expect me to be anything else?
Yes, sir, I did.
Well, what?
You remember, Daddy.
Remember what?
Last week, Mrs. Tyler called up because Josh had punched Willie Tyler in the nose, and she threatened to tell the police officer.
Yes, I remember that.
And you made Josh promise not to have any more fights with anybody, ever.
Oh.
Under no circumstances, you said.
I did make you promise that, didn't I, Josh?
You mean you didn't remember?
Oh, of course. Sure, I remember. So that's why you didn't... Well, I'm proud of you, son. I'm very proud of you. But I was also late to work, so I kissed my two goodbye and hurried down the steps. I made a mental note that I must reopen the subject of fights and make a clear distinction between unprovoked aggression and justified self-defense. I was just hurrying along the second-floor corridor, I remember, when I looked up and saw Mrs. Jessup standing in her open door, looking at me with a worried frown. Mrs. Jessup was a widow and our landlady, and I stopped short at that look on her face and asked her if there was something I could do for her. She answered my question with a question.
Why don't you just return it, Mr. Sharp? I'm not the one to make trouble.
What's that, Mrs. Jessup?
Well, there's no point making mountains out of molehills, I always say.
I don't quite understand.
It's all right, Mr. Sharp. Kids will be kids. I guess we've all done worse things ourselves, if we could remember back.
Worse things? Worse things than what?
Now, don't get yourself all overwrought, Mr. Sharp. Wasn't worth a lot, just an old patent leather handbag.
Patent leather handbag?
Just junk, really. Wouldn't be seen dead carrying it around, but, well, that's not it, you know. It's the principle of the thing.
Do I understand you're trying to say my children stole a handbag?
Well, I don't like to say steal.
I hope you're prepared to say more than that, Mrs. Jessup.
Now, it was just as much my fault as it was theirs. They play up and down these steps all day, and I should have known enough not to go out and leave my door open.
Listen, Mrs. Jessup, you can leave your door open any time you please, day and night. Josh and Debbie would never walk into your apartment.
Well, I know you believe that, and it's a credit to you, Mr. Sharp, but, well, the fact remains that they did.
You mean you accuse my kids?
I'm not accusing anybody.
You needn't be afraid of lawsuits, lady. That's not the point at all. I don't think in terms of libel and slander. It's understandable that a person can make an innocent mistake.
I'm not making a mistake, innocent or otherwise.
And I want details. Cold details with no more face-saving hypocrisy.
All right, then. You can have them, Mr. Sharp. I left the house yesterday afternoon at 3 o'clock. There was nobody here, not a soul anywhere on any of the floors, except those 2 kids of yours, and they were playing here in this hall.
Go on.
Well, a little after 5, I got back, and the handbag was gone.
So?
Well, how much more do you want?
That's your case against my kids.
Well, I don't expect a father to believe bad things about his children.
I wouldn't believe bad things about a 3-time loser on evidence like that.
I tell you, there wasn't another soul in the house.
Well, there must have been.
But there wasn't.
Well, what about the janitor?
Hanky wasn't here. It was his sister's birthday, and he had the afternoon off. Besides, he knew nothing about the handbag.
You mean Josh and Debbie did?
Yes, Mr. Sharp. They saw me take it out of the sideboard drawer one day last week when I gave them a nickel for sweeping up the sidewalk.
There was money in the bag?
Oh, very little.
How much?
5. 5 $1 bills. But that's not the point, Mr. Sharp. There were some very valuable papers inside, wrapped in a rubber band. And if they'll just return them...
Now, look. If they touched anything of yours, you'll have it back in the next minute and a half. But I'll stake my life they know nothing about it.
Naturally. They may say so.
And if they do, I want it understood that they'll be telling the truth.
But...
And I'll believe them. And what's more, Mrs. Jessup, so will you. Even as I ran back upstairs, I realized I was being completely unfair. If the kids had been alone in the house and the handbag had been stolen, the woman could be forgiven for thinking Josh and Debbie had something to do with the theft. On the other hand, I knew my kids. Somebody must have come in and taken the bag, and the kids probably had seen them. Likely enough, I told myself, they'll be able to clear the situation up immediately. I opened the door and saw the children sitting on the floor, playing a quiet game of checkers.
Daddy? You back, Daddy?
Yeah.
You're not sick or something?
Sick? Oh, no, I'm fine, baby.
Then why didn't you go to the office?
Oh, I just wanted to talk to you for a minute.
To me?
To both of you.
What about, Daddy?
Well, I want you to understand that Daddy knows. I don't think for a moment that... Son.
Yes, Daddy?
Baby.
What's wrong, Daddy?
Have you ever at any time gone into Mrs. Jessup's apartment?
Well, yes. Yes, we have.
You have? Why would you do a thing like that?
She's invited us in. Once we swept the sidewalks and she gave us a nickel for it.
Oh, you don't understand, baby. I mean, have you ever gone in when she's not at home?
No. No, we haven't.
I see. Yesterday afternoon at 3 o'clock, it seemed she went out for a while.
We know. We saw her. We were down there in the hall.
For what?
We were just playing in front of her door.
Uh-huh. Well, how long did you play in front of her door, sweetheart?
Oh, till 5, or anyhow, almost. That's right. It was just about 5 when we went out on the sidewalk and Tubby punched me in the eye.
Then you must have seen him.
Him?
Or her.
Who?
The person who entered Mrs. Jessup's place at some time between 3 and 5.
Oh, we didn't see a soul, did we, Josh? No. We didn't see anybody.
Well, that's not possible.
Why isn't it?
Because somebody, I don't know who, but Somebody was in her apartment, Debbie.
Oh, no. No, there wasn't.
Yes, there was. And if you were playing in front of the door, they had to pass you. You must have seen them.
But we didn't.
Honey.
I'm sorry, Daddy, but there just wasn't anybody in the house except us all afternoon. She's right. We didn't see a soul.
Oh, this is just about enough to drive a man crazy.
What?
And you two didn't go into Mrs. Jessup's?
No.
You didn't so much as set foot inside?
No, Daddy, we're telling you the truth. We didn't. I'll get it.
No, you stay right where you are. And if it's Mrs. Jessup, you two go into the bedroom while I... Oh.
Hey, I got the stuff here your kids ordered.
What?
Yeah, a hunting knife and a sewing kit.
Who are you?
Delivery boy from Krause's toy store over on 3rd Avenue.
You know anything about this, Debbie?
Yes, Daddy. We told Mr. Krause what we wanted yesterday afternoon, and he said he'd probably have them in by this morning.
Yeah, that's right. So we got them in. So I brought them over. COD, mister. The things are $2.50 apiece.
What did you say?
$2.50 apiece.
Oh, it's all right, Daddy. We've got the money. Josh? Yeah? Give it to Daddy. Oh, wait a second. Here it is. $2.50 apiece makes $5.
Where did you get this?
What, Daddy?
What are you doing with $5?
It's ours, Daddy. Ours.
Hey, what about the stuff, mister?
Don't bother me.
Yeah, but...
Get out of here.
Yes, sir.
Daddy?
Kids, have I ever said no when you wanted anything in reason?
We didn't want anything, Daddy. It just came our way.
Came your way?
Like I told you, Daddy.
You didn't take a handbag out of Mrs. Jessup's apartment?
Take a handbag? Gee, Daddy, that would be stealing.
By the time I'd gone back down to her floor and faced her, I was hot under the collar, and the words flew high and fast.
I'm sorry if your kids have talked you out of it, but they haven't talked me out of a thing.
And they don't have to.
We'll see about that.
Now, look, Mrs. Jessup, I have talked to them, and you've got your answer.
I'll talk to them myself.
I advise you to lay off my kids, and I mean it.
I refuse to be robbed and do nothing about it.
Okay, then what you need is a policeman.
Where are you going?
To get the cop off the beat.
No, you mustn't. You mustn't.
No? Well, I'm going to.
Please, no. I'll leave the kids alone. I won't bother them. I'm sorry. I'm awfully sorry.
Too late for that now. You put them under a cloud, and it'll take routine investigation to get them out.
No, Mr. Shaw. Mr. Shaw. Please.
She had fallen at full length on her parlor rug. Her eyes rolled back and her arms and legs stiff and rigid. I knelt over her and listened for a heartbeat. I knew she'd had some kind of attack. And while I listened, her lips moved weakly. The words were breathy but distinct.
Maryvale. Maryvale, doctor.
Stricken as she was thinking clearer than I. And finding her address book, I looked under the M's. There at the top, I read Ed Maryvale, John Lindsay, M.D., with an address on Justin Street and a phone number. I dialed and waited a few hundred years before there was an answer on the other end.
Dr. Maryvale speaking.
This is Joshua Sharp.
Yes, Mr. Sharp.
I think you know a woman named Jessup, Mrs. Irma Jessup.
Irma Jessup?
Yes, she owns a house at 46 Tyne Avenue.
I don't believe I've ever heard of her.
Oh, and maybe your partner, Dr. Lindsay, knows her.
No, I'm quite sure he doesn't.
Well, she's heard of you. She's got your name in her address book, and she needs help fast.
What's the trouble?
She collapsed about 5 minutes ago.
I see. Is she conscious, Mr. Sharp?
More or less, but she won't be conscious long.
Very well, sir. I'll be over in just a few moments.
And he was. A tall, dignified, gray-haired man who took one look at the situation, frowned, and asked to be left alone with the patient. I left him and walked up to my own flat to do a little thinking. I felt badly about the business. The woman probably had a bad ticker, and I'd done her no good flying off the handle the way I did. I was just getting around to wondering why she was so afraid of the police when... Yeah?
Commander?
Oh, I meant to phone you, Risky.
Well, what happened? I thought you were coming to the office early.
No, I've had a bad morning.
Oh. Anything I can do?
No, I don't think so, Risky.
Take a chance and ask.
Well, I'm interested in finding a black patent leather handbag.
What?
It was stolen from the apartment of my landlady, Mrs. Irma Jessup, at 46 Tyne Avenue, sometime between 3 and 5 yesterday afternoon.
Well, could I ask you why you should bother your head?
My head's already bothered. The woman has been flinging accusations.
Well, at who?
I can't say right now.
No?
No, I'm not alone.
You mean she's accusing the kids?
You're sharp as a tack, chum.
Well, but why did she pick on them?
There wasn't anybody else in the house at the time.
Well, what to have stopped the second story man from coming in?
Nothing that I can think of.
Well, you just hold your hat, Commander. I'll check around among some friends of mine I shouldn't have. I'll see if I can get a lead.
I don't know how long I sat by the phone, carefully avoiding the necessity of letting the kids know about what had developed below before there was a knock at the door. I opened it to see Dr. Merivale standing outside in the hall. One look at his face, and I stepped out and closed the door behind me.
I suppose you couldn't have called me any sooner than you did.
It wasn't soon enough?
She suffered a sudden and severe heart attack.
She's dead?
Yes. You happen to know who's the next of kin?
I have no idea. Maybe your partner does.
My partner?
Lindsay.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, I can ask him.
And will you call me back?
Of course. Perhaps I can leave the death certificate in your care.
If you want to.
It would be convenient.
Well, then I'll hear from you.
I'll call you back sometime in the next 3 hours.
Oh, thanks, Doc. If by any chance one of the kids answers the phone, don't let on that the lady's dead.
Certainly not.
I'll break it to them myself in time.
I understand.
Yes, baby.
What's the matter?
Nothing at all.
Who is that outside?
Just a man, a fellow I know.
Is there anything in
Oh, why should there be? Excuse me, kids. Yeah?
Look, Commander, I did a little snooping.
Well?
Well, I can't put my fingers on that handbag, but I got something for you.
Yeah?
Word got to me through one of my contacts that for a few bucks, a certain character will tell a little story about that lady at 46 Tyne Avenue.
About Mrs. Jessup?
So goes the report.
I don't quite follow.
Well, neither do I. I'm just reporting. But in case you're interested in taking a cab to the Rutley Hotel, that's at 104th Street, the guy's name is Bowden.
Bowden?
Matt Bowden. And he keeps house in room 51.
I took a cab then to the Rutley Hotel and asked for Mr. Bowden. I was told that Mr. Bowden wasn't in his room and that I could wait in the dingy, narrow little lobby. I just sat down and was opening a newspaper when a voice said quietly,
You're Sharp?
Who are you?
There was a detective named Sharp who was coming to see me. I thought maybe you was him.
Are you Mac Bowden?
Oh, then you are him, huh?
Oh, what's this highly touted story about Irma Jessup?
Look, could you keep your voice down?
Down? Oh, all right. But nobody's listening.
Somebody might. Look, I got a room rent bill here for $120, Mr. Sharp.
Oh, that's your asking price?
That's the rock bottom final figure.
Well, I'd have to get it out of the bank.
It ain't 3 o'clock yet.
What reason have I got to think you know anything worth that much dough?
Well, I spent 10 years in Atlanta Pen on a robbery charge.
How does that concern Irma Jessup?
I ain't saying who it concerns. But for the 120, I'll spin you a yarn to open your eyes.
All right. Stay right here.
You coming back?
Yes.
With the dough?
With the money. Bowden! The bullets had come blazing down from the dark, rickety balcony that ringed the Rutley lobby, and Bowden crashed to the unswept floor at my feet and died there. The killer had his exit planned so well that the balcony was deserted by the time I found the stairs and stumbled up in the half-light. An hour later, I was back at 46 Tyne Avenue, ransacking Mrs. Jessup's belongings and finding nothing to clear the air. I was just settling back to take a breather when... Hello?
Mrs. Irma Jessup.
Who's this?
Dr. George Huddleston. I'd like to speak with Mrs. Jessup, please.
I'm afraid you can't do that.
I want to find out how she's feeling.
Well, you can't do that either, Dr. Huddlestone. She's dead.
What's that?
She died this morning of a heart attack.
If this is supposed to be humor, it's not funny.
It isn't humor. It's fact.
It is not a fact, sir.
No?
I happen to have been in her position for years. Given a rather unpleasant nervous seizure. But a fatal heart attack. Out of the question.
Now, listen.
You listen. I examined her only 3 days ago. Her heart was as sound as yours or mine.
I sat for some time, puzzled, reaching out for something to add up and get a sensible answer. Then I picked up the phone and dialed Merivale's office. The secretary answered and said he wasn't in.
He should call back shortly, though. I'll tell him you want to talk to him.
Perhaps I could talk to Dr. Lindsay then.
Who's this?
Dr. Lindsay.
Who is Dr. Lindsay?
Isn't he Merivale's partner?
Dr. Merivale has no partner.
I hung up slowly, and I took Mrs. Jessup's telephone list in hand and turned to the M's again. There it was, Ed Merivale - John Lindsay, M.D. Studying the names closely, it suddenly hit me. If Merivale and Lindsay had been partners, she would have listed them as M.D.s. Here, plainly written, was M.D., singular, without an S. And I knew that for one reason or another, Merivale and Lindsay were two names for the same man. I thought back over the morning, Mrs. Jessup's wild concern for an old handbag, her death, Merivale's diagnosis, and Bowden's sudden murder. And then I remembered Bowden's hint about having been in the penitentiary at Atlanta, so I phoned Captain Murphy at Homicide to do a bit of research. When I had hung up, I climbed the stairs to where Josh and Debbie were still quietly playing checkers.
You don't have to worry, Daddy.
Don't I, baby?
We told you the truth about the handbag. We didn't touch it.
I don't want to know about the handbag anymore.
No?
No, I'm sure you told me the truth about it. But I'm also sure that, for some reason or another, you lied to me about something else. Look, children, Mrs. Jessup is dead.
Yes.
And she was murdered.
Mrs. Jessup?
And a little while ago, a man was murdered, too. He wasn't a good man, but he was killed like a dog.
I don't understand, Daddy.
Nobody's too sure of anything yet. And I'm only sure of one point.
What's that?
I'm sure that you two did see somebody enter the lady's apartment yesterday afternoon.
Oh, no.
Now, be careful, sweetheart. There's a lot involved here. The person you saw murdered Mrs. Jessup and the man. Do you understand, Debbie? Josh? Just a minute. Hello.
Charles?
Yes.
Captain Murphy.
Oh, yes, Captain.
Information from Atlanta.
Good.
They've got a record on John Lindsay. It seems he was put away in 1930 for 10 years for medical malpractice.
Well, thanks, Captain.
Anything else we can do?
I'll let you know later. Oh, what a headache.
Daddy? Oh, Daddy?
Debbie, Josh, now I must know who passed you yesterday afternoon and went into Mrs. Jessup's apartment. You must tell me. Do you understand? You must do as I tell you.
We're doing as you tell us. Well, anyway, we're doing as you told us.
What?
Well, didn't you say that your word is your bond? And that once you give it, you should stick by it no matter what it means?
Why, yes, I did.
We didn't know. He came up the stairs and saw us. and said he'd give us $5 if we'd give our word never to say we saw him. And we gave our word. We gave it. And now we've broken it.
No, baby. Who was the man you saw?
We don't know. We don't.
I got your message, Mr. Sheriff.
Josh. Daddy.
Yes, son.
It was him.
Okay, Josh, and you really haven't broken your word. I've known it for quite a while.
What is all this, Sharp?
I've known that you murdered Mrs. Jessup, Dr. Merivale.
Well, how dare you say such a thing?
You killed her when you sent me out of her flat. It was too good a chance to miss. She was unconscious, and all you had to do was not administer to her. Let her die, which was murder just the same as if you used a knife or gun.
You must be insane, Sharp. Why should I have done a thing like that?
Because she had proof that you'd been imprisoned for malpractice years ago under your real name of John Lindsay. This proof was in the handbag that you stole yesterday from her flat. And today, with everything fitting your purposes, you let her die because you were afraid she might continue to work her little blackmail racket.
Do I look like a man who could commit murder?
Frankly, no. But your killer instinct definitely asserted itself later today when you had to do away with your ex-cellmate Mac Bowden in order to finish this whole nasty business.
Do you think you can prove this?
I know I can.
Then I must ask you to put up your hands.
Now, steady. Steady, kids. It's all right. Don't get scared. Nothing's going to happen.
I wish you were right, Sharp. I don't relish this or anything I've had to do, but it's been forced on me.
You wouldn't really kill again.
What choice have I?
Hey, listen, what about that COD?
Look out! Merivale swung around at the sound of the voice, firing a bullet that went high and wild, and I jumped him, knocked the gun from his hand, and the crisis was over. I left the kids alone for the few minutes it took me to get him to headquarters, and then I hopped a cab back and climbed the stairs to our flat. The kids were looking at their new toys, the knife and the sewing kit. They were pleased enough, but they looked a little guilty. I could see it and feel it.
What's going to happen to that man, Daddy?
Now, don't you worry about him, son.
But we can't help it, Daddy. We promised we wouldn't tell.
It's all right for you to tell. It was the only thing to do.
But you taught us never to make a promise unless we could keep it.
Well, there are some times when you should break a promise.
Well, that's confusing.
Yes, I know.
You always tell us about how important it is to keep our word.
Well, circumstances alter cases, son. That is, in some degree. It depends on who you give your word to.
That's hard to understand. It's awful hard.
You want to know something else that's hard to understand?
What? What, Daddy?
How I ever managed to get two wonderful kids like you. This is Josh Sharp Sr. saying goodbye for Debbie and Josh Jr. and me as we come to the end of our current series. We all hope that you have enjoyed our stories, and if you'd like to hear more of them, please write and tell us about it. Just write to me, the big guy, care of NBC, New York. We'd like very much to hear from you. Debbie? Josh? How about it?
Oh, we would, Daddy, we would. Yes, Daddy. And goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye.
Goodbye.
NBC has presented the last of a series of adventures of The Big Guy, played by Henry Calvin and featuring David Anderson as Josh Jr. and Joan Laser as Debbie. The script was written by Peter Barry and directed by Thomas Madigan. The music was composed and played by Jack Ward. Members of the cast were Anita Anton, Joseph Bell, Bill Gray, Burford Hampton, and Sandy Strauss as Risky Skinner. Your announcer is Peter Roberts. Three chimes mean good times on NBC. Joan Fontaine and Herbert Marshall star in tonight's Theater Guild on the Air presentation of the fascinating love story Michael and Mary. Another Sunday evening favorite is the authentic drama series Tales of the Texas Rangers, starring Joel McCrae as a member of the nation's oldest police force. That's top Sunday evening listening on NBC tonight. Charlie Wild, Private Eye follows on NBC.
Welcome back. Well, I thought actually a pretty nice twist. And I think that it really was an interesting and very different sort of program. With its look at a detective who was also a father trying to instill the right values in his kids. And, and in so many ways, Joshua Sharp's such a model and very dedicated parent, which makes for a very interesting character. I definitely wish we had more episodes of the show and that it had made it more longer. Lasting, of course, it was only 6 months, which was pretty common for a lot of NBC mystery programs at the time. Well, that will actually finish us up for today. Coming next Tuesday, it'll be Mr. Moto, and join us tomorrow for Part 3 and Part 4 of the Henderson matter. Well, today's episode is brought to you by the financial support of our listeners, and I want to specifically thank Stuart and Linda for their support, and I will be sending you access to our premium site. As soon as I have the last app extra updated, you can support the program at support.greatdetectives.net. Well, now it's time for today's episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, The Henderson Matter, Part 3 and Part 4.
From Hollywood, it's time now for
Johnny Dollar.
Eve Holden, son.
Hi, Sheriff.
You put in a call for me, did you?
Yes, I'm ready to go to work. Now that the inquest's been held and George Henderson's death is officially an accident, I might be able to move around your little town a little easier.
What can I do for you?
Help me to move around?
The case is closed, as far as I'm concerned.
Eve, what's the matter with you? That inquest was a farce. For all I know, Henderson could have been pushed out of that hotel window. The attitude of different people in this town makes that whole thing...
Hold on now, son, hold on. I meant to say it's closed as far as my office is concerned. Personally, I think it needs investigating. We can help each other, maybe, you and me.
Can I come over?
Oh, I better come there. You know how folks are around here.
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar. Location, Culver, Montana. To Paramount Insurance Adjusters, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Henderson matter. The question, accident, suicide, or murder? Expense account item 4, $3.48. 1 day later to Tim Connor's office in Hartford explaining the situation in Culver.
I'll read it back to you, Mr. Dollar. Mr. Tim Connors, Paramount Insurance Adjusters, Hartford, Connecticut. Coroner's inquest into death of George Henderson, policy number EMP-196667, found death to be accidental. In my opinion, the inquest was not thorough. Have decided to stay on in Culver and conduct my own investigation. If any change, please advise via Western Union, Butte Hotel, Culver. Am forwarding copy of coroner's verdict this date. Best regards, Dollar. Correct?
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Dollar. Good luck.
Yeah, sure. Expense account item 5, 68 cents. Postage. I mailed a copy of the coroner's verdict to Hartford, airmail special. After that, I went back to my hotel to wait for the sheriff, Eve Holton. Come on in, Eve. Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
Mr. Dollar, my name's Porter. I'm the manager of this hotel.
Oh, well, come in, Mr. Porter.
I can't right now. I've got some other things to attend to.
Well, anything I can do for you, Mr. Porter?
I'm going to have to ask you for your room, Mr. Dollar.
Oh? When?
Today.
Any particular reason?
We're all filled up. The room's been reserved for 6 weeks.
By whom?
What?
Who reserved it?
Why, a man from Bozeman. It's a sort of convention.
Sort of convention? What kind of convention is that, Mr. Porter?
Look, Mr. Dollar, you'll have to leave this room today. The man's coming in tonight.
Aha. And there's no other hotel in town?
That's the way it is, Mr. Dollar.
No other place to stay?
No.
So I have to pack my bags and get out of town, is that it?
I must have the room, Mr. Dollar.
Who asked you to say you wanted the room, Mr. Porter? Who asked you to come here and kick me out?
Why, no one.
Well, you go back to no one, Mr. Porter, and you tell no one that I'm staying right here in this room here in Culver until I finish what I have to do here. You tell that to no one, will you?
Mr. Dollar, I'd hate to call the police.
Go ahead, Mr. Porter. Be sure and tell them about the sort of convention you're having and how all the rooms are sold out. Tell them about Mr. No One and tell them I called your bluff. Anything else, Mr. Porter? I was at the stage where I was beginning to take notes for myself. Note 1, the mayor didn't want to have an inquest into the death of George Henderson. Note 2, when they did have an inquest, they didn't want to really find out anything. Note 3, Mr. Hotel Manager wanted me to keep on not finding out anything by getting me out of town. I explained all of this to Eve Holton when he showed up a half an hour later.
Well, kind of tight, isn't it?
I don't know what that means, Sheriff, but it's pretty stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid, son, but it could be effective. Now, I'll tell you what. If Porter calls the police, I'm the police, so don't worry about that. I'll hem him and haw him.
All right, thanks.
Now then, tell me how much your insurance company's stuck for.
$50,000 if Henderson's death goes by as an accident.
The good book says that's what it was.
I know. There's a chance, too, he had a heart failure and fell out of that window.
No, sure. Always a chance.
We might have to dig him up and find out, Sheriff.
Oop, no, hold on. Autopsies and digging people up is one thing you'd have a hard time doing around here.
I might insist on it. I don't know. We'll let that go for now. Say, tell me about Mrs. Henderson. Where's she from?
Here. Right here in Culver.
Now, she didn't get that mink coat and those diamonds she was wearing at the inquest in Culver. More important, she didn't get that continental look here either. So what's the story?
Well, her name was Pauline Underwood before she married George. Born and raised right here in Culver. Of course, she went to school in the East, and she's been in Europe a couple of times, but most of her life's been right here.
She is a mighty pretty widow.
And a mighty rich one, too. Henderson had it.
I know. This divorce she talked about at the inquest yesterday.
Well, everybody in town knew they weren't getting along, never did get along. How could they? Pauline's 26 and George is 59. He could have been her father. As a matter of fact, he almost was.
Well, tell me about that.
You got a drink?
Oh, yeah.
Well, George raised Pauline from the time she was 14. He paid for all her schooling and growing up. She didn't have any folks after her old man died. George was pretty good to her.
He sure was. Was he a friend of her parents?
Well, Tom Underwood worked out at the ranch for George. When he died, there was Pauline standing around.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
And she eventually married him and his money, huh?
Well, I wouldn't put it that way exactly. I think she liked him. Now, I've gone over what you're thinking, son. Those two were talking about divorce for some time. The papers had been drawn up for a settlement. She'd got a lot of alimony and so on. Oh, Pauline had no call to push him out that window or have him pushed out. At least not for money.
All right. Suppose he didn't want a divorce. Suppose he loved her and she came to the hotel room that morning and he pleaded with her to try all over again. Suppose she said no. Suppose she said no in a great big cold way. And George Henderson sat there and thought about it after she left. And he got sick all over and he walked over to that window and...
Suicide?
What do you think? You knew him.
He wasn't the suicide type. So.
Oh, nobody's the suicide type until they come to the end of the line, Eve. Then it's too late to interview them and ask them how they got there. Everybody seems to think it was an accident, so I'm just throwing words around.
Well, you have a right to do that if you aren't satisfied, son.
Hey, getting back to this hotel again. Who might want me to get out of town and not ask any questions?
Anybody.
Well, who?
No idea.
But it's somebody who has some feelings in this. Hey, who owns this hotel, Eve?
Noah Baxter.
Who's Noah Baxter?
Rancher. Got a place about 15 miles from here. Pretty big man.
Uh-huh. Friend of Henderson's?
Yeah.
And let me put that question a little different. Baxter a friend of Mrs. Henderson's?
I don't know.
Can you find out?
I can try.
Well, find out about him and any other friends, Eve. Friends that might be younger, that might have gone to Europe or school in the East.
Yeah, sure. What are you thinking now, son?
Well, now, if I were Mrs. Henderson and my husband fell out of a window in this hotel and killed himself, I'd hire a lawyer and I'd sue the hotel for damages. If the insurance company didn't pay off my claim, I'd hire a lawyer and insist that they pay that claim. I'd do those things right away, Sheriff, especially if I thought it was all legitimate.
Yeah.
2 hours later, I received a wire from Tim Connors. He requested me to look up a man named Thurber, an insurance broker living in Great Falls. Expense account item 6, $4.92, tank of gas. I borrowed Sheriff Holton's car and drove the 80-odd miles to Great Falls that afternoon. Mr. Thurber bought lunch.
My lord, I hope there isn't anything to all this, Mr. Dollar. I just hope there isn't. George Henderson.
Yeah, well, there isn't anything to anything yet, Mr. Thurber. I'm still trying to find out the facts.
Oh, I knew you were over in Culver. I tried to call you there a couple of times. You were out both times. Finally, I put in a call to the home office in Hartford. I talked to this man, Connors, with the adjustment agency.
Yeah.
You see, Mr. Dollar, it's like this. I've been over in Jackson Hole for 5 days now hunting duck. We were way in, and I didn't hear about Henderson's death until I got back yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Now, look, Mr. Dollar, I don't know what reflection this will have on your attitude toward this case, but 2 days before I left, Mr. Henderson telephoned me here in Great Falls. He said he wanted to change the beneficiary on his policy.
Oh, in other words, he was going to cut his wife out, huh?
Yes, I suppose so. I know they weren't getting along.
There'd been talk of divorce.
Yes, I guess so.
Uh-huh. Did he name a new beneficiary?
Yes, a school teacher in Culver named Matilda Knickerbocker. Everybody calls her Maddie.
What was his connection with her?
None that I know of. I think it was just a name for him to throw in until he could decide on another beneficiary. Why, he didn't have...
Wait a minute. Maddie Knickerbocker.
Just a school teacher. Everybody knows her. He was awful mad when he talked to me that day. I could tell it in his voice. Now, here's what might interest you just a little more. The day I left on my hunting trip, Mr. Henderson phoned me again. He said to never mind. Mrs. Henderson was still his beneficiary.
Had you changed the policies yet?
No.
Are you sure it was Henderson who telephoned you?
Well, yes, I think it was him.
Do you remember when you got the call?
Oh, somewhere around noon, a little later, I guess.
He died between 12:30 and 1.
And it must have been just before he fell out the window.
He phoned you long distance from Culver, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, he was supposed to have been in the hotel all morning, so he had to phone from his room.
Well, you can check that, can't you?
You'd be surprised how hard it is to check simple things like that around the Butte Hotel. Did you know Henderson very well, Mr. Thurber?
He was a customer. I wrote a lot of insurance for him.
Know his wife?
Oh, yes.
Well, tell me about them. Go ahead, Mr. Thurber. Now, look, accidents rarely have reason behind them. Suicides and murders always do.
You don't think it was an accident?
Well, let's say I've heard enough and seen enough to make it a draw so far. Go ahead, tell me about him.
And I wish I was married to Mrs. Henderson. I wish she could see me. I think most any man who's ever met her hoped the same thing. Young men, old men, any kind. But she picked George. George was as tough and leathery as these mountains around us, exactly her opposite. But Pauline married him.
He raised her. He was close to her all her adult life.
Yes. But, Mr. Dollar, you know and I know she didn't have to marry him. She could have married anybody here in Culver or anybody in London or Paris. You see what I mean?
Not quite.
Well, I always had the idea that after she married him, she kept letting him know she could have had anybody else she wanted.
Go ahead, Thurber.
I think she married him for his money. I think she would have killed him for his money.
Johnny Dollar.
This is Mrs. Henderson. You asked me to call, Mr. Dollar?
Yes, Mrs. Henderson. I'm with Paramount Insurance Adjusters.
Oh, yes.
You probably know we asked for the inquest into your husband's death.
Yes, I know.
We're trying to clear up the entire matter as quickly as we can, Mrs. Henderson. I'd like to talk to you.
Oh?
Hate to trouble you at a time like this.
Well, that's all right, Mr. Dollar. When do you want to talk?
May I come out to the house this afternoon?
There's a nice restaurant called Big Horn Lodge on the highway. How about meeting you there at, say, 4 o'clock?
Good. I'll be there. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Paramount Insurance Adjusters, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Henderson matter. Expense account continued. Item 7, $5. One pair of galoshes, believe it or not. It snowed in Culver, Montana during the night, all night. By morning, 14 inches of fine new snow covered everything in sight. After my phone call to Mrs. Henderson, I spent the morning trying to rent an automobile. There was none to be had, so that afternoon I dropped over to see Eve Holton, my sheriff friend.
Oh, son, you're going to catch your death unless you start wearing this scarf.
Yeah, I'll remember that, Eve. But maybe I won't need one.
Oh?
Yeah, I think I'll be leaving Culver pretty soon.
Well, I hope you don't mean that, son.
I'm afraid I do. I'll have to tie this case up one way or another pretty quick.
Why?
My company wants me to get back home. I got a letter this morning.
Oh, well, how can I help you?
Well, for one thing, you can lend me your car again. I have a date with a lady out at the Big Horn Lodge.
Pretty fancy. You can have the old thing anytime you wanted. You know that, son. Who's the lady?
George Henderson's widow.
Yeah. Oh?
Now, I know what you're going to say. Why go after her? Why bother her until I have something to go on? Well, I got to do something, Eve. I'm no nearer now to knowing whether Henderson was pushed out that hotel window, fell, or jumped. I think I have enough of an idea of Henderson and his wife to pick up some valuable information from her. Any objections?
Nope. Johnny, a couple of days ago you asked me to look up people who might have been especially friendly to Mrs. Henderson. You still want to know about them?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I'm working on it.
Anyone so far?
Nobody I'd put in that category. What time you have to be at the Bighorn?
4.
It'll take you a while. Wouldn't hurt to start right now. She's parked out back.
Okay, thanks, Eve.
Good luck. And don't let her rang-dangle you, son. She could do it if she wanted to.
Goodbye, Eve. 10 minutes later, I was on the road to Bighorn Lodge, which also happened to be the same road I'd traveled 2 days before to attend George Henderson's funeral. As I drove past the graveyard, white and stark against the blue winter sky, I noticed a car parked along the side of the road, a little Chevy coupe about 1952. There was the figure of a woman, all alone, standing by George Henderson's fresh grave. Her head was bowed. She didn't notice me as I walked up. A gray-haired woman, about 45, slight, delicate, gentle. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to start it.
Oh, that's all right. Must be getting late. Dear, it is.
Do I know you?
Why, I don't know. I'm Mattie Knickerbocker.
The name had startled me. The day before, an insurance broker in Great Falls had mentioned her. Told me that George Henderson had named her his beneficiary, then changed his mind a few minutes before he died.
Your name's not Campbell, is it?
No, Johnny Dollar.
Oh, Johnny Dollar. You remind me of a boy I had in one of my classes once, Torrey Campbell.
Oh, you're a teacher, Miss Knickerbocker?
Yes. Everybody knows me, I think. Or at least I flatter myself that way. Well, I should be going.
I knew Mr. Henderson, too.
Oh? He was a wonderful man, George. He was very dear to me. I'll find it difficult getting used to the fact that he'll never be around anymore. George had a wonderful laugh, didn't he?
Yes, he did, Mrs. Knickerbocker.
I never really thought that he ever grew up. Of course, you knew him in a business way, and I'm sure he was very, very grown up in business. But it doesn't hurt to think of him this way now, does it?
I don't think so, Miss Knickerbocker.
I didn't come to his funeral. I didn't think I could bear it. I thought I'd just drive out this afternoon and say goodbye by myself.
Well, I apologize for interrupting you.
Not at all, please. Funny little things.
Hmm?
The birds in the snow.
Oh.
Such tiny, wonderful little things. A little bit of God in each of them, Mr. Dollar, wouldn't you say?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know why. I think George would like to know they're here, near him.
Miss Knickerbocker, I have to tell you...
No, you don't, Mr. Dollar. I know who you really are. Everyone in town knows. You seem like a nice young man. Was it curiosity that made you stop your car?
Yeah, I suppose so. I apologize.
Oh, you needn't. I'm just an old friend of George's, saying goodbye to him. Good afternoon, Mr. Dollar.
Goodbye. Talking to Mattie Knickerbocker, I felt that for the first time, somebody, namely Mattie, had talked frankly and truthfully about George Henderson. I was still thinking of the frail, drab little woman with the nice blue eyes when I met Pauline Henderson at the Bighorn Lodge.
What are these matters you want to clear up, Mr. Dollar?
Oh, just some doubts in my mind about your husband's death. What do you drink?
Pernod.
Pernod.
I learned to like it in France.
All right. One Pernod, bourbon, a little water on the side.
Yes, sir.
You sound like George when you order.
Hey, I like your Bighorn Lodge. And I have to say, when it's elegant in the West, it's elegant.
I'd like a light, please.
Oh, sorry. Sure.
Thank you.
Mrs. Henderson, do you mind if I don't stall any longer with the drinks, the smokes, and the compliments?
I'm surprised you've stalled this long. I've heard you're a very blunt and impulsive man.
I spoke to an insurance agent named Thurber yesterday in Great Falls. Your husband's agent. Mr. Thurber told me that your husband wanted to name a new beneficiary last week.
Really?
Yeah. He named Matilda Knickerbocker. Mattie Knickerbocker.
I'm not surprised, I suppose. Mattie's a lovely woman. I know George was very fond of her.
Mr. Thurber also told me that Mr. Henderson changed his mind about that the day he died. In fact, he phoned Mr. Thurber in Great Falls and told him to leave the policy as it was. He did that a few minutes after you left his hotel room. A few minutes before he died. Can you explain any of that, Mrs. Henderson?
Why don't you ask Mattie Knickerbocker?
Because I don't think she'd know. I ran into her this afternoon and I talked to her. Oh, not about this, just about other things. I'll look her up again if I have to. But it's you I want information from now.
Then why don't you ask what you mean, Mr. Dollar?
All right. Did something happen in that hotel room that made him change his mind about you?
That's better. I do wish that ridiculous little man would bring out drinks.
He will.
Don't misunderstand what happened in the hotel room. George and I were going to be divorced. He moved out of the house a month ago. We went to his attorneys and drew up a tentative property settlement.
You mean...
Dunlap, Eder, Reardon, and Blake, Great Falls. They have a copy of that settlement. George was quite generous to me. So I didn't kill him for his money, if that's what you're thinking.
Here we are, sir. Pernod, bourbon.
Thank you.
I didn't see George for 3 weeks or so after we made the settlement. Then we happened to meet one day in Culver, and... well, we had a rather bitter argument. It was one of those ridiculous things. We quarreled and parted very angrily. The whole thing was childish. My first impulse was to go right back to the lawyers and demand every unreasonable thing I could on the divorce settlement. I guess George's first impulse was to cancel me out as his beneficiary.
Did you go to a lawyer, Mrs. Henderson?
No, I cooled off. I cooled off considerably, Mr. Dollar. After all, George had been everything to me most of my life. I was truly sorry we never got along as man and wife. I'm glad that we made it up before he died. That morning. He apologized when I came by the hotel. I apologized. After I left, he fell out the window.
Then I can assume that this business with the policies had to do with the argument.
Assume what you like, Mr. Dollar.
I can understand why you're annoyed by me and my questions. It's just that it's kind of hard for us to believe that a man involved in divorcing his wife would still name her as his beneficiary. I say that because of past experience. Oh, it's happened, but isn't usual.
I could have told you that we were reconciled that day in the hotel, that we were going to drop the whole divorce matter, and that George was coming back to the house to live.
Yes, you could have told me that, Mrs. Henderson. Mr. Connors in our home office in Hartford called you a few days ago. You hung up on him. Why?
Well, I was very upset. I've never been a widow before.
Uh-huh. I believe you, Mrs. Henderson. Sitting here, like this. You're a lovely person, and I know it. And you know it. And this is a pretty nice place to conduct business. Why didn't you ask me to your home?
I preferred to talk to you here.
That's what I thought. I saved all the "did your husband have any enemies?" and "did he seem depressed?" questions for another time. But before I went to bed that night, I read and reread Mrs. Henderson's testimony given at the coroner's inquest. The next morning, I interviewed all of the people at the Butte Hotel who'd been on duty the day Henderson fell out the window. After that, I dropped in to see Eve Holton.
Here it is, Johnny, right here. Personal effects of the deceased included 4 suits of men's clothing, 14 shirts, 5 pairs of hosiery.
Was there a bottle in that room, Sheriff?
Liquor?
Yeah.
No bottle. Nothing like it, son.
All right. He didn't call down and have a bellboy bring him a bottle or send him any drinks. The chambermaid swears there was no liquor in his room all the time he lived at the hotel. You say he was a light drinker. Now, what light drinker takes a nip before he has his breakfast?
Who said he had a drink that morning?
Mrs. Henderson.
What?
On the witness stand, under oath at the inquest. She testified that her husband had a drink before she came up to the room and while she was there. Now, mind you, she didn't say he was drunk, but she did say he had been drinking. You read over that transcript.
So?
So I think she threw that in, made sure it got in, because it's sometimes hard to believe that a cold, sober man will walk out of a hotel window and kill himself accidentally. A drunk or a drinker might do it. You and I and everybody at that inquest somehow got the impression that Henderson was slightly tipsy that morning. And Mrs. Henderson saw to that. Now then, if Henderson had a drink, I want to know where he got it. Tell me, Eve. No bottle in the room, no bottle brought up to the room. Where did he get that drink?
That's a pretty good question, son.
There'll be another intriguing episode in our story of the Henderson matter tomorrow.
Tomorrow, the wind-up. Yeah, the whole case blows sky high. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by John Dawson, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure and join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
Welcome back. You know, I've got a couple of different ideas about how this might turn out. I've listened to this before, but I don't remember for sure what happens. I have a couple of outcomes in my head, but I don't know which one might be right. In some ways, I don't know if we've been given enough information. We do know there are some people that don't want Johnny continuing his investigation. But we also haven't been given any clear suspects beyond the wife. And that almost seems too predictable. So we're going to have to see how this all shakes out. You'll want to be with us on Friday for the finale of this episode. We do have one listener comment, and this one comes from iTunes. Bill from Whidbey Island says, "Hey, Adam, my iPod is my constant companion while I'm doing outside chores. Great Detectives helps pass the time while I'm going around and round with the lawnmower. I appreciate your commitment and the hours of time that you put into your passion. Keep going." Well, thanks so much, Bill. I appreciate your comment. Whidbey Island, a great area over in Washington, was actually, interesting fact, was actually where my parents honeymooned. All right. Well, that will actually do it for today. We will be back tomorrow with Sherlock Holmes, and join us on Friday when we will wrap up the Henderson matter. Well, before we do get started, I do want to encourage you to check out the books we have for sale over on Amazon and other ebook sites. I'm often asked why someone my age is so interested in the golden age of entertainment, and I've written a little manifesto on that available for your Kindle, either to purchase or to borrow from the Kindle lending library. The title is What Made the Golden Age Shine, and it's currently available for 99 cents. We also have probably the most successful ebook I've ever written, All I Needed to Know I Learned from Columbo, and that is actually available in the Kindle store for the iPad, the Nook, and in all other formats on Smashwords. A lot of folks from around the world are taking a read. Actually, the last month I have reporting, more people bought that book from Australia in the iTunes store than from anywhere else, so thanks a lot. All right, well, now it's time for today's episode of Sherlock Holmes. This one's The Silver Blaze. The Silver Blaze, actually G.K. Chesterton's favorite Sherlock Holmes story, and one I enjoy quite a bit, so let's go ahead and take a listen.
And now, the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, with Sir John Gielgud as Sherlock Holmes and Sir Ralph Richardson as our storyteller, Dr. James Watson.
Many of the cases of Sherlock Holmes were private affairs that made no stir outside the family circles involved. But the disappearance of Silver Blaze was a matter which set the whole country by the ears. For not merely had this horse, the favorite for the Wessex Cup, vanished for a week before the great race, but his trainer had also been tragically murdered. Don't think of the trainer. Lives in a small villa about 200 yards from the stables. I see you have some newspapers there, Watson. Let's see what they have to say about the matter. Oh, well, here's the Morning Post. It says, the horses had been exercised and watered as usual, and the stables locked up at 9 o'clock. Two of the lads walked up to the trainer's house, where they had supper in the kitchen, whilst the third, Ned Hunter, remained on guard. A few minutes after 9, the maid, Edith Baxter, carried his supper, a dish of curried mutton, down to the stables. As the path ran over the open moor, she carried a lantern with her. About 30 yards away from the stables, a man appeared out of the darkness and called to her to stop. Excuse me, miss. Can you tell me where I am? I'd almost made up my mind to sleep on the moor when I saw your lantern.
You're close to King's Pile training stable, sir.
I am. What a state of luck. I understand that the stable boy keeps her alone every night. Perhaps that's the supper you're carrying.
Yes, sir. But it'll be getting cold.
Yes, but you wouldn't be too proud to earn the price of a new dress now, would you? See, the boy gets his note tonight, and you have the prettiest dress that money can buy.
Let me pass, sir. I'm not giving notes to anybody.
The girl was frightened by his manner, and she ran past him to the stable window hatch, through which she always used to hand the boy his meals. The hatch was already open, and the boy was waiting inside. He'd just begun to tell him what had happened when the stranger came up again. Good evening. I wanted to have a word with you. What business did you hear? Business that may put something in your pocket. There were two horses in for the Wessex Cup, Silver Blaze and Bayard. But they have a straight trip and you won't be the loser. Is it a fact that if the weight Bayard could give the other 100 yards?
So you're one of them damn touts. Well, I'll show you how we serve them at King's Parliament.
Just wait till I set the dog free. Rover! Rover!
The boy ran to unleash the dog, and the maid hurried towards the house. But looking back, she saw the stranger leaning in through the stable window. A minute later, when Hunter rushed out with the dog, the stranger was gone. Yes, that's as far as we can get with the Morning Post, I'm afraid. Mrs. Hudson very stupidly used the other half of the paper to light the fire this morning. Well, I'm sorry.
Oh, no matter, my dear Philip. The Telegraph has also covered the columns very fully. I have it here. Hunter, on the return of his fellow grooms, sent a message up to the trainer, Straker, to tell him what had happened. Straker seems to have been vaguely uneasy about the matter, for although he'd been to bed, he got up again at 1 o'clock in the morning, telling his wife that he was going down to the stable to see if all was well. He put on a mackintosh, for it was raining heavily, and left the house. Quite a wealth of detail, my dear Watson. And here I have the notes of Mrs. Straker's statement. After her husband had gone out, she went back to sleep again and didn't wake until 7 o'clock in the morning. Finding him still absent, she called the maid, and they set off together for the stable. They found the door wide open. Inside, huddled on a chair, was Hunter in a state of complete stupor. The lads in the loft overhead had had nothing all night, but the favorite stall was empty, and there was no sign of the trainer.
Hunter had obviously been drugged.
Undoubtedly. Mrs. Straker and the maid left him and ran up to the moor to see whether Straker had merely taken the horse out for exercise, and so the murder was discovered. Suppose you read me the rest of Mrs. Straker's statement.
Oh, well, yes. Well, some quarter of a mile from the stables, Mrs. Straker and the maid found Straker's coat flapping from a furze bush. Immediately beyond, there was a bowl-shaped depression on the moor, and at the bottom of this, John Straker's body was found. His head shattered by a savage blow from some heavy weapon, wounded in the thigh, a long, clean cut, evidently inflicted by some sharp instrument. Straker had obviously tried to defend himself, but in his left hand he grasped a red and black silk cravat, which was recognized by the maid as having been worn by the stranger who'd spoken to her outside the stable. Hunter, the stable boy, also identified it when he'd recovered from the effects of the drug. This was apparently powdered opium, which had been put into his curried mutton. Now that explains what the stranger was doing as he leant through the stable window. The lads who ate the same meal at the trainer's house were quite all right, so only one place had been drugged. And it goes on to say there was abundant proof in the mud which lay at the bottom of the fatal hollow that the missing horse, Silver Blaze, had been there at the time of the struggle.
Well, Watson, that starts our little journey quite agreeably. And here we are at Tavistock. Tavistock lies at the back of the field.
In a moment, we continue this week's story in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And now we continue The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes next asked to be shown the spot where the murder had been committed. A short walk across the moor brought us to the hollow in which the body had been found. At the brink of it was the furze bush upon which the mackintosh belonging to the murdered man had been hung.
There was no wind that night, I understand.
None, but very heavy rain.
Well, in that case, the coat was not blown against the furze bushes. It must have been placed there.
Yes, it was laid across the bush.
Very interesting.
In this bag, I have one of the boots which Straker wore, one of Fitzroy Simpson's shoes, and the cast horseshoe with silver blades.
My dear Inspector, you surpass yourself.
Holmes took the bag, and descending into the hollow, he made a careful study of the trampled mud in front of him.
Hello. What's this? A spent match, eh?
Excellent. I can't think how I came to miss it.
It was invisible, buried in the mud. I only found it because I was looking for it.
What? You expected to find it?
I thought it not unlikely. You'll have searched the ferns round the rim of the hollow for any more tracks, of course.
I'm afraid there are none. I've examined the ground very carefully for 100 yards in each direction.
Good. Then I'll take a little walk over the moors before it grows dark. And I think I'll put this horseshoe in my pocket, just for luck.
I suppose you know your own methods best, Mr. Holmes. Perhaps you'll come back with me, Inspector. There are several matters on which I need your advice, especially as to whether we owe it to the public to scratch silver blades from the Wessex Cup.
Certainly not, Colonel. I should let the name stand.
I am very glad to have your opinion, sir. We shall see you later on, when you finish your walk. Colonel Ross and the inspector went back to the villa. whilst Holmes and I walked slowly across the moor.
We may leave the question of who killed John Straker for the moment and confine ourselves to finding out what has become of the horse. Now, supposing he broke away during or after the tragedy, where could he have got to?
Almost anywhere on Dartmoor, I should imagine.
Oh, dear no. The horse is a gregarious animal. If left to himself, his instincts would have been either to return to King's Island or go on over to Capleton yonder. Why should he run wild upon the moor? If he's not at King's Island, he must be over there at Capleton. Come along.
We've not far to go. And as we approached the gates of Capleton, we met a groom coming out of them.
We don't want any loiterers round here.
I only wanted to ask you a question. Would I be too early to see your master, Mr. Silas Brown, if I were to call here at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning?
Why, bless you, sir. If anyone's about, it'll be him. He always the first stirring.
What's this, Dawson? No gossiping. Go on about your business. And you there. What the devil do you want here? 10 minutes talk with you, my good sir. Well, I've no time to talk to every gadabout. And we don't want strangers here. It'll be awful you may find a dog at your heels. One word in your ear, my friend. In your own interest. It's a lie. An infernal lie. Very good. So we argue about it here in public or talk it over in your parlor? Or do I go to the police?
It was 20 minutes before he returned.
It shall be done, sir, just as you wish it. There must be no mistake. Oh, no, there should be no mistake. It should be there. Should I change it first or not? No, don't. I'll write to you about that. No tricks now. Oh, no, you can trust me. You can trust me. Yes, I think I can. Well, you shall hear from me tomorrow. Good day to you. Good day, sir. You see, Watson, a more perfect compound of a bully, coward, and sneak than Master Silas Brown I have seldom met with.
He has the horse, then?
Oh, he tried to bluster it out. But I told him so exactly what his actions had been that morning that he's convinced I was actually watching him. He was first down, as usual, and seeing a strange horse wandering on the moor, he went out to it. When he recognized it as Silver Blaze, from the white splash on its body, his first instinct was to return it to the King's Pyland stable, which he set out to do. But then he realized that if the horse could only be hidden till after the Wessex Cup, his own horse, Desborough, would almost certainly win. So he changed his mind and turned back halfway, brought Silver Blaze down to his own stable.
But I thought his stables had been thoroughly searched.
Oh, an old horse faker like him has many a dodge.
Ah, but aren't you afraid to leave the horse in his power now, since he's every interest in injuring it?
My dear fellow, he'll guard it like the apple of his eye. He knows that his only hope of mercy is to produce it safely at the racetrack for the Wessex Cup. I made that perfectly clear to him. But I have a little trick to play on Colonel Ross. You may have noticed that his manner to me was just a trifle cavalier. So neither of us, please, for the present, will say anything to him about the horse.
Well, certainly not, if you wish it.
And of course, this is all quite a minor matter compared with the question of who killed John Straker.
And you devote yourself to that in the meantime.
On the contrary, we will both go back to London by the night train.
I was thunderstruck by my friend's words. We'd only been a few hours in Devonshire, but he should give up an investigation in which he had begun so brilliantly was quite incomprehensible to me. Not one word more could I draw from him until we were back at the trainer's house, where the colonel and the inspector were waiting for us.
My friend and I returned to town by the midnight express. We've had a charming little breath of your Dartmoor air. Well, you despaired of arresting the murderer of poor Straker. There are certainly great difficulties in the way. I have every hope, however, that your horse will be at the racetrack next Tuesday, and I beg that you'll have your jockey in readiness. Oh, may I take this photograph of John Straker with me back to town? Well, Inspector, I'm rather disappointed in our London consultant. I don't see to go any further than when he came.
At least you have his assurance that your horse will run next week.
Yes, I had his assurance. I should prefer to have my horse.
We went outside.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Colonel. I hope to see you at the Wessex Cup and Silver Blaze.
4 days later, Holmes and I saw Silver Blaze win the Wessex Cup by a good 6 lengths. It was not a Silver Blaze that even its owner could recognize. There was no trace to be seen of the famous white splash on its forehead or of the mottled off foreleg. The Silver Blaze that won the Wessex Cup was a powerful bay. It was only in the weighing enclosure after the race that Holmes began to explain to a colonel who was completely bewildered.
You only to wash his face and his leg in spirits of wine, and you will find that he's just the same old Silver Blaze as ever. You take my breath away, as I found him in the hands of a faker and took the liberty of running him just as he was sent over.
My dear sir, you've done wonders. I owe you 1,000 apologies. You've done me a very great service by recovering my horse. You would do me a greater still if you could lay your hands on the murderer of John Straker.
I've done so.
You've done so?
You've got him.
But where is he then?
What? He's in our company at the present moment.
That is either a very bad joke, Mr. Holmes, or is it an insult?
I'm not referring to you, Colonel. The real murderer is standing immediately before you.
The horse?
Yes, the horse. Silver Blaze himself. It may lessen the guilt somewhat if I say that the killing was done entirely in self-defense, and that John Straker was a man who was quite unworthy of your confidence. There goes the bell, and as I stand to win a little on the next race, I shall defer a lengthier explanation till a more fitting time.
It was not until we were on our way back to London that Holmes would get down to these explanations, despite the impatience of both the Colonel and myself.
I must confess that I even suspected Fitzroy Simpson myself for a time. It was only when I reached the trainer's house that the immense significance of the curried mutton occurred to me.
The curried mutton? You mean when you mentioned our Soho meal?
Exactly. Powdered opium has a disagreeable and perceptible flavor. Only something more strongly flavored, like a curry, could have disguised the taste. Now, Fitzroy Simpson could never have known that the maid would be serving the stable lab with a curry that night. The only people who could have known that were people in the house. So who could have taken advantage of the fact? Then there was the silence of the dog when the horse was taken from the stable. It failed to bark because it knew who the intruder was. I was already quite convinced that the intruder must have been John Straker himself.
John Straker himself?
Why did he wish to take Silver Blaze out onto the moor in the dead of night and secretly?
The answer to that was in John Straker's pocket.
The dressmaker's bill?
Precisely. Addressed to William Derbyshire. That set me thinking. Perhaps John Straker was leading a double life. After all, his wife confirmed that the expensive costume wasn't for her. And by recognizing the photo that I showed her, Madame Lesurier, the dressmaker, later confirmed that John Straker had indeed bought it there to give to a woman of more expensive taste than his wife.
In fact, John Straker was leading a double life and was in bad financial straits.
John Straker. I can scarcely believe it.
The knife gave me the final clue. It was a surgical knife, such as could be used to lame a horse without leaving any visible evidence of foul play. By laming Silver Blaze and betting on Desborough, John Straker would have been able to retrieve his fortune.
Scoundrel, the man I trusted.
He led the horse out onto the moor so that when he cut its tendon, its plunging wouldn't waken the grooms overhead. In order that he could see what he was going to do, he needed a candle. So that the candle should not be seen, he led the horse to the hollow. In lighting the candle, he dropped that spent match in the mud. Unfortunately for him, the light must have scared the horse, unless it was instinct. Whichever it was, the horse lashed out and its steel shoe caught Straker full in the forehead. He'd already taken off his mackintosh to be freer, and as he fell, gashed his thigh on his own knife.
My dear sir, you might have been there. Wonderful.
And the cravat, Fitzroy Simpson's, which was in the dead man's hand.
Simpson said that he lost it. No doubt he did. Straker must have found it and picked it up, perhaps with the idea of using it to secure the horse's leg. Well, that disposes of everything. Quite simple. Perhaps we could while away the rest of this journey, my dear Watson, with a game of chess.
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, based on the original stories of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, have been dramatized anew with original music composed by Sidney Torch.
Welcome back. Just a great classic rendition of the story. And Doyle wrote such fascinating pieces. I love the way it was put together, and, having the end where the horse did it, that was just absolutely masterful. These past few weeks have been a lot of fun, because we've had some episodes, particularly back when we were in the John Stanley programs, that were not quite as enjoyable. But these last few weeks, these have just been amazing. Really, Sherlock Holmes adaptations at their absolute best. So I hope you've been enjoying them as much as I have. All right, well, now we turn to listener comments and feedback, and we have a review from iTunes for the app, and this is from West Seattle 01 and Washington State, where my family comes from on both sides, is providing some needed support here. Comment from West Seattle 1 says, "This site is the best. Thank you. I enjoy all the shows, and I'm most certain you will as well." Well, thanks so much for the support, West Seattle, and appreciate all our listeners in all 50 states and around the world. And that will actually do it for today. Today's episode is brought to you by the financial support of our listeners. Thanks so much for your support. Now it's time for us to find out what happens to Nick Knight in Nightmare for Night Part 4.
Carter Brown, Mysteries. Adventures in excitement and suspense, based on the best-selling novels by the slick storytelling sensation, Carter Brown.
It was beginning to make sense. Crazy, nightmarish sense, but sense. Right from the start, I hadn't been Nicky Knight, the dashing private eye. I'd been Nicky Knight, the dumb puppet with every move planned for me. Even this last one, returning to the house with Marie Desprez, figuring it to be a surprise twist. Only the twist was on me, with a gun pointed at me by Louis Katz and the pleasant prospect of being handed over to the cops for the murder of Prince Al Zaman.
Bronk, take the girl away. You know where to put her.
I'm sorry, Marie. I guess they're calling a tune.
You're very wise, Mr. Knight, to try nothing foolish.
I know when I've been outsmarted, Louis.
Not only outsmarted, Mr. Knight, outplanned, outmaneuvered, outthought.
Yeah, I was picked as the fall guy from the beginning, wasn't I? From the moment Haroon got his brother over here to the States on the pretext of urgent oil business. Haroon, who's your boss, of course, was getting tired of playing second fiddle to Al Zaman and planned to get rid of him. Get rid of him here in the States instead of on his own home ground.
Correct.
So Haroon engages me to protect a harem that's already protected. And then you come around with a story about your sister. Even when I beat it out of the house with Tex, you and Haroon weren't worried. You knew I'd found out from Tex that Marie was in the house and that I'd come straight to you.
Which you did, Mr. Knight.
Yeah, and played right into your hands for the murder of Al Zaman. Back I come with you, and Fatso gets it, with me all set to take the rap. The only slip-up was with you, Louis. You couldn't know that I'd been tipped off about you by the house stick at the hotel. But I hadn't figured it all then. I was just suspicious of you. That's why I tapped you on the skull and beat it with Marie.
But you have come back, Mr. Knight.
Yeah, I even worked that out right. While I was getting Marie out of the way, Haroon and Hassan were carefully collecting Tex. Hassan is Haroon's man, too, like you. And then after the phone call proposing the quid pro quo, or more accurately, the girl for girl, you figured I'd come straight back here, hoping to surprise you. You waited for me, and here I am.
Like a good little pawn, going from square to square, exactly as anticipated.
Yeah, the perfect pawn.
Which is about to be taken. You heard that, car? That will be His Highness Haroon, the new prince with the police. Goodbye, Mr. Knight. It's been fun playing with you.
Yeah, they had it worked out to a T. T for Tombstone with my name on it. Oh, there's something very depressing about sitting in a cell swearing at yourself for a sucker. And that was how I spent the time all that night and next morning. That and thinking about Tex, worrying if she was all right. And then round about midday, I was taken out of the cell and driven to a downtown office. For a gray-haired guy sat behind a desk with a slim, efficient-looking character next to him.
Take a chair, Mr. Knight.
And what is this? Who are you?
My name doesn't matter. This gentleman is Mr. Wilde.
Hello.
First of all, please accept my apologies for having kept you in that cell so long, but when your statement came to us, we had to investigate, and that takes time.
I don't get it.
You will when I tell you that we checked your story about Marie Desprez and found it to be true.
Oh, you did, huh? That's nice.
Don't play tough, Knight. This isn't the time or the place for it.
It's all right, Wilde. Mr. Knight can't be blamed for feeling a little sore.
Oh, a little?
But I suggest you don't say any more, Mr. Knight, till I put you in the picture. An international picture.
Okay.
It's mostly concerned with Prince Al-Zaman and his country's oil. As you probably know, that oil is extremely valuable to us, and incidentally to France. For a long time, the United States and Britain have advocated that Al-Zaman should be deposed, but France has remained firm. As long as the oil came out of the country, they weren't worried with what went on inside. There's a Democratic Party within the country. It's been fostered for some time, and it's ready to take power. We could assist them to do that bloodlessly, and now is the time, with Al-Zaman dead. But, of course, the French must agree.
Now, wait a minute, the French...
You're getting it now, aren't you? It's important that Miss Desprez must be found alive.
Yeah.
The indignation of the French people when they learn what happened to her will swing their government to our way of thinking.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, our big problem is to find Miss Desprez. Have you any idea where she would be?
Yeah, sure. Somewhere in the house. It's an old place. There'd be a cellar. They'd probably put Tex there as well.
Oh, yes. I'd forgotten about the other girl.
I hadn't.
As soon as Haroun even thinks we're suspicious, he will undoubtedly murder the Desprez girl or both of them. That's the tricky part. Mr. Wilde here is from the FBI, but I can't use him or his men any more than I dare send a squad of police with tear gas and Tommy guns into the place. It would be signing the French girl's death warrant.
Looks like a one-man job. And I'm the one man.
Why, Mr. Knight?
Because I know the house.
He's right, sir.
Look, here's an idea. Take me back to headquarters, book me for murder, and let the press get all the pictures they want. When Haroun sees that in the papers, he'll feel safe again. Then pull out all the cops at the house, and tomorrow night let me out of a side door in the jail.
It's not bad, sir. It could work.
Yes, Wilde, I suppose it could. It's a risk, but on the other hand, I can't think of any better scheme. Very well, Mr. Knight. That's how we'll do it.
Okay, you guys, keep it quiet.
All right, now we got over the wall. Nicky, this is where you're on your own.
Yeah, me and my 32.
I've got another gun for you. Here.
Hey, what's this, a 6-inch howitzer?
It's a rocket gun. You've got an emergency, you point it out the window and you pull the trigger. We'll see the rocket, all right.
Uh-huh. All right, thanks.
The best place to carry it is in your sock.
Oh, okay. Right. Just hope it doesn't go off and leave me minus 3 toes.
We'll fan out and watch for your signal. If it doesn't come within 20 minutes, we'll come in anyway. Good luck, kid.
Well, thanks again. So long. For the third time now, I crept up to the back door. For the third time now, it was unlocked. These characters obviously didn't believe in guarding their rear. I was halfway across the kitchen, and I heard voices. I looked around for a place to hide. There was a broom cupboard built into the wall. I got in with the brooms and pulled the door to, leaving just a crack to see through. A second later, the light was switched on, and Haroun and my old pal Louis came in.
So, in a week, Louis, we shall leave the United States. I return home to take up my rightful position.
While Mr. Knight remains to die for the murder of your brother. A sacrifice in honor of the new prince, eh?
What about the 2 young ladies?
Well, I'm about to take their food to them, Highness. The team has prepared the tray.
Good food, I see. Excellent. I don't like thin women. Return to me in the library, Louis, when you have finished. We have other plans.
I watched Louis pick up the tray and disappear through a door I'd never seen before. It looked like part of the paneling when it was closed. I gave him a minute or so and then headed after him. The door opened on a flight of steps leading down. I'd been right about the cellar.
Here's your meal. Eat up. His Highness Prince Haroun prefers women who are well filled.
I'd like to fill him with arsenic.
Or even lead, honey.
Night!
Which means the long sleep for you.
I knew you'd make it. I told Marie you'd find us.
We're not out of here yet, Tex, baby. Get back to Marie and keep down on the floor, both of you. This will bring the rest of them here like hornets.
All right, Nicky. Down on the floor, Marie, quick!
It will not help you, Mr. Knight. Fire low, Hassan, to floor level. Hassan, the machine gun you see, Mr. Knight. Against that, you have no chance.
No? Oh, that takes care of Hassan and his Tommy gun. Now you're on your own, Your Highness. Come on down and demonstrate how brave a prince can be. Not good enough, Haroon. What's the matter? Too scared to come down?
No, Mr. Knight, not scared now since your gun is empty.
I always wait my time, you see. And my time, Mr. Knight, is now.
Is it? As he came down the steps, I remembered the rocket gun in my sock. I grabbed for it and pressed the trigger. Haroon was practically on top of me when it hit him. When I came to think of it, he didn't stay a prince for long. Later that day, I was back in the office of the gray-haired guy.
Congratulations, Knight. You did a magnificent job.
Oh, just pin the medal above the heart, General. Now go home.
With both Alzaman and Haroon out of the way, that line of succession is gone forever. And we feel confident that a much more democratic regime will take its place. The people should erect a statue in your honor, but they probably won't.
Just tell me one thing. Who exactly are you?
Oh, let's just say that I'm connected with the State Department. My job is connected with what happens in other countries. You know, the things you don't read about in the newspapers.
Well, of course. Of course I'm dumb. Espionage, huh?
Yes, that's the ticket. You know, if you were interested, I could use a man like you.
Well, it's very kind of you, but no thanks. I'll stick to a nice quiet racket like the private eye business.
Well, it hasn't been so quiet these last few days, has it?
No, but it's going to be much quieter for the next few days. You see, there's someone back at my apartment who'll see to that.
You know, Nicky,
Yeah?
there were times when I just couldn't believe I'd ever sit in an American apartment again and hear some real American music again.
With a real American man again, huh? Yeah, although, you know, those Eastern guys have one idea that's not bad.
Mm-hmm. What's that?
A harem. I think it's a wonderful idea.
Oh?
Sure, you get tired of a brunette, so you pick a blonde. You get tired of a blonde, and you pick a redhead.
No. You want to rewrite it. You get tired of a certain brunette, and you pick up prussic acid in your morning coffee.
I never drink morning coffee.
You will that morning.
Honey, I was only kidding. I love you, Tex.
I love you, Nicky.
Enough to marry me?
Nicky, you've got yourself a one-woman harem for life.
That takes care of Nicky Knight. His nightmare's over, or it's just starting, depending how you look at it. Well, I'll be back to bring you another of my books. The next one's called Destiny, Danger, the story of an English undercover man who didn't stay undercover enough. So this is Carter Brown saying so long for now. Be seeing you.
In Nightmare for Night, you heard June Salter as Tex, while as Nicky Knight you heard our star, John Bushell. The Carter Brown Mystery Theater, based on the best-selling novels by Carter Brown, is dramatized and directed by Morris Travers for Grace Gibson Radio Productions.
Welcome back. These programs require suspension of disbelief. Some more than others. There's so much that's remarkable about the way that this all ended. You almost get the idea, since this is based on the book, that the writer of the Carter Brown stories got Nick Knight into such a predicament, couldn't figure out how to write him out. So we end up with the guy from the State Department hiring him to break into the new prince's quarters. And we get one of the most remarkable results. Only in a Carter Brown mystery show will you be sent to nonviolently rescue 2 hostages from the home of a foreign head of state and end up blowing up the foreign head of state instead and be told by a State Department official, "Nicely done. Well played." Have you ever thought about joining up with us? I mean, in reality, if an oil-producing state had its prince blown apart with a rocket on U.S. soil, and the person who was illegally entering their premises was not punished, you would end up with a more, a radical leader, even in the 1950s. So this is just the most far-out ending to a mystery story that I've heard. That said, I also have to give some compliments to Carter Brown on this, in that his detectives can actually get married, because his characters are, for the most part, one-time use. So he doesn't need to have this ongoing tension. Even though I think most, better, I guess the less said about this, the better. All right, well, next week we are actually switching the order of programs. Johnny Dollar will be first. Carter Brown's story will be second, which, with all the commentary I had on this week's show, might be better in the long run. Now, let's go ahead and take a listen to Johnny Dollar with Bob Bailey, Part 5 of The Henderson Matter.
From Hollywood, it's time now for
Johnny Dollar.
I have a call for you from Hartford. Go ahead, please.
Johnny?
Right here.
Connors at Paramount Adjusters. Say, what was this wire, Johnny? You serious about denying liability to Mrs. Henderson?
I sure am. I think it'll bring the whole thing out in the open.
This is pretty serious. Have you got any concrete evidence death wasn't accidental?
Jim, I have a copy of the coroner's inquest. Concrete evidence that Mrs. Henderson lied under oath. She said her husband was drinking the morning he died. Everybody here believed he was a little crocked when he fell out that hotel window. I've got proof that he didn't have a drink that morning.
What proof?
No bottle in his room. No bottle brought there. Nothing. What do you say?
Don't make a move, kiddo. I'll get the first plane.
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Paramount Insurance Adjusters, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Henderson matter. Sheriff Holton agreed that there was enough of a doubt about the circumstances prior to George Henderson's accidental death to warrant an official re-examination of all the facts. He promised me the police would start an immediate investigation. That was all I needed. I knew Mrs. Henderson would be re-questioned and that the pressure would start to build up. 14 hours later, when Tim Connors arrived in Culver, I had some pressure of my own.
Well, Johnny, what?
Well, the best thing we can do now is move in. Deny liability on the grounds that the accident is not proved.
I suppose Mrs. Henderson sues us.
All right, let her. Then the burden of proving that her husband's death was accidental would be on her. Look, Tim, contrary to her testimony under oath, Henderson didn't have a drink that morning he died.
All right, she made a mistake. He had a heart attack, got dizzy, and tumbled out of the window. He wasn't drunk.
Oh, don't talk nonsense, Tim. Listen to me. Mrs. Henderson was ready for the coroner's jury a couple of days ago, and she was ready for my questions when I saw her yesterday. The only one she wasn't ready for was you a few days ago when you phoned her long distance. You said she hung up on you. Well, she half apologized to me for that, but it was because she couldn't think of anything to say.
Well, maybe you're right. But suppose he did die accidentally, and suppose it is a just insurance claim.
I tell you it isn't.
Now, the fact that she made a mistake testifying about him having a drink and... Hey, Johnny, do you have anything else?
3 things: instinct, experience, and statistics. Pauline Henderson's a young woman. She married a wealthy older man. With him out of the way, she has all his money and all her youth.
All right, I'm going to phone the company as soon as I can find a phone.
Tell them I'm working for evidence, and the best way to get it is to bring Mrs. Henderson out in the open. File a complaint against her.
What charge?
Suspected murder.
Oh, no, Johnny, that'd get us in all kinds of trouble.
Remember the drink, Tim. Henderson didn't have the drink.
Now, we'll have to have more than that. I'm sorry, Johnny.
All right, I'll get you more. An hour later, I was with Sheriff Holden comparing notes. He reported that after questioning Mrs. Henderson, she admitted she might have been mistaken about Henderson drinking the morning of his death. She wasn't sure. But Eve Holton said what we both were thinking.
You went in front of the coroner's jury and gave a misleading impression, son. Made us think that George was drunk and stumbled out the window. Well, we better find out who helped her pull this off.
Sheriff Holton had every man in his office working on the case by then. It was a long, tedious job of combing over everything in Pauline Henderson's background to find a possible accomplice. About 5 in the afternoon, I drove to the Henderson ranch with Holton. Mrs. Henderson was out, but we interviewed one of the servants.
That's right, sir. Once or twice a week.
You know where she drove to on these trips?
I have no idea. Mrs. Henderson get up early in the morning, be gone all day.
How do you know she went out of town?
Well, she generally take a small suitcase with her, change of clothes. You don't take those when you're visiting a friend in town, do you?
Tell us what car she'd use on these trips.
The Cadillac. Always come back covered with mud and ice. Always have to be washed up. Mr. Henderson used to complain about that.
About the car being dirty?
About the trips, mostly. He and Mrs. Henderson had some pretty good arguments about him. He'd say Mrs. Henderson shouldn't visit that man.
What man?
Just that man. I never knew who it was they argued about.
You've known Mrs. Henderson quite a long time, huh?
Yes, sir. Knew her when she was a little girl, when she first came here. Saw her grow up, go away to school, go away to Europe, come back a little more grown up, and a little different every time.
Were you surprised when Mr. Henderson married her?
Well, no. Well, yes, guess I was.
Because she was so much younger?
Not that so much. I mean, well, Mr. Henderson, he had something about the plains and cattle and the mountains about him. When he moved, it was as big as all them things. Mrs. Henderson was different.
She didn't fit in here? Is that what you're trying to say?
I think she fit. Not like him, though. Before they were married, they were sort of like good friends. I mean, they'd ride horses and go hunting and laugh and talk about different things. Mrs. Henderson, she traveled Europe, saw so many things and places in the world. She fit here, but then she didn't belong here. I feel awful about Mr. Henderson's being dead. If there was anything wrong with the way he died, I'd like it to be fixed. Mrs. Henderson will probably fire me for talking like this, but I don't care. This house isn't the same no more.
By the time we got back into town, Sheriff Holton's boys had discovered the names of 3 men who had been seen at various places around Culver in the company of Mrs. Henderson.
Rod Tyler.
Oh, who's he?
Mining engineer. He's been away from here for over a year now. See, now, here's another one. Sam Pollard. Sam died 6 months ago. Hey.
What?
Noah Baxter.
Noah Baxter. That name's vaguely familiar.
Yeah, he owns a hotel you're staying in. A couple of ranches, too. Well, he might have been the one who tried to have you thrown out.
Oh.
He also owns the mayor.
Young man?
About 30, 35.
Let's go see him. Another drive, this time north of Culver to the Baxter Ranch. We found Noah Baxter busy with his help shoring horns on cattle. A lean, tall man with thin features.
If you're trying to find out if I've been seeing Pauline on the sly while she'd been married to George, why don't you come right out and ask?
All right, and have you?
No, not on the sly. There's nothing between us. George knew any time she came over here to see me. He was a good friend of mine. I'm sorry he's dead. Pauline's a good friend of mine, too. I'm sorry you people are thinking what you are about us. Let's go up the house. It's getting cold. All right, Stan, that's enough for today.
No, I got to ask you this. Where were you last Thursday?
The day George died, Sheriff?
Yeah.
I was right here.
Can you prove that?
Sure. Ask anybody. You boys want a drink?
No, thanks.
No. Well, I do. Mac! Mac! I get it myself.
When was the last time you were in Culver, Mr. Baxter?
3-4 weeks ago. My cook and the others handle what supplies we need.
Do you mind if we talk to some of your help around here?
No. What do you want to talk to him about?
About last Thursday? About what happened when Mrs. Henderson came here to visit?
It wouldn't look good if she came here to visit me, would it?
Well, that depends on the circumstances, no?
She'd come and sit there and read and look at some of those paintings. We'd talk when I had time. Anything wrong with that?
No. Mr. Baxter, I think I ought to tell you, I've asked my company to file a complaint against Mrs. Henderson. Suspicion of murder.
Oh. I'd like to tell you something. She didn't kill him and she didn't have him killed. She loved him a lot more than George loved her, I think. Both of you know her. Her dad was a drunken cowhand. When he died, George took her over, gave her everything. So you see, you're wrong. She loved George for giving her what he gave her, and mostly for being the kind of a man he was. I lied to you a couple of minutes ago. There was something between us. It was bound to happen sooner or later. She'd come here to cry on my shoulder, and I let her.
Cry?
About George. He wanted to divorce her. Didn't you know that?
I had the idea it was the other way around.
Oh, you're all wrong. George raised her, educated her, made her into a woman, and then he married her. And she wasn't what he wanted at all. Do you know who George wanted to marry? Mattie Knickerbocker, the schoolmarm.
Go on.
Oh, there was nothing between George and Mattie, but there would have been if he'd lived.
What about you and Mrs. Henderson?
Yeah. The thing that was between us was that I wanted her. She didn't want me, but I wanted her. I was glad when she told me about the divorce coming up. I really think she would have listened to me. But she wanted to be married to George. She really loved him. Sure you don't want one of these?
No.
No. And I really loved her. I went to see George last Thursday at his hotel. You know why? To tell him to go back to Pauline. Yeah, because I knew what he meant to her. You can talk to my people around here. They'd lie for me and say I was here last Thursday all day. They'd tell you that Pauline never came to see me. They'd lie right down the line for me. But, Mr. Dollar, I can't let you get out that complaint and take her in. One of my trucks was taking some beef to the hotel last Thursday. I rode in with the driver and went in the back way. I went right up to George's room to talk to him. Pauline had just left. I wanted to talk to him about the same things I've been telling you. I didn't want to hurt him. I loved him, the same as everybody loved him. When I got to his room, he wouldn't let me talk at all. He was mad that I interfered, and he tried to swing on me. I shoved him once. He went out the window. That's all. I killed him.
Expense account, item 8, $58.15, hotel and food while in Culver, Montana. Item 9, same as item 2, transportation by train and plane back to Hartford. Item 10, $88, miscellaneous. Expense account total, $802.50. Remarks? We still had to pay double indemnity. Mattie Knickerbocker, Pauline Henderson, Noah Baxter, they'll pay another way. With the hurt that comes to nice people. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Remember, there'll be another exciting story beginning next Monday night.
Next week, a real mystery, complete with plenty of action, a beautiful blonde, and a killer lurking in the shadows. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by John Dawson, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in this week's cast were Lillian Bayef, Irene Tedrow, D.J. Thompson, Herb Ellis, Marvin Miller, Forrest Lewis, Bob Bruce, and Russ Thorson. Musical supervision by Amerigo Marino. Be sure to join us on Monday night, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This is Roy Rowan speaking.
Welcome back. You know, if I had listened to this episode first, I probably would have had a much bigger plausibility issue with Johnny encouraging the insurance company to press ahead with trying to get the widow charged with murder based on the fact that it may not have been an accidental death. But after what we heard in Carter Brown, this doesn't seem quite as egregious. This was based on a John Lund Johnny Dollar script, The Underwood Matter. We played it as episode 570 back on December 30th, 2011. First aired February 27th, 1953. And like a lot of the Lund scripts, there was definitely, this one heads up to an anticlimactic conclusion. And really, you get the sense that Johnny's, for lack of a word, his sort of prejudice from all the years that he has been in insurance investigation, playing the percentages, that he had a really firm idea of what was going on and how this was going to go. And really, uncharacteristically, I think in some ways went off half-cock, just kind of on instinct here. And it didn't quite turn out in this episode. But of course, next week's another case, so we'll resume on Monday with another Johnny Dollar story with Bob Bailey. Now we turn to listener comments and feedback. And we begin with Kelly, who says, Adam, even after that nice man called and told you how to pronounce it correctly, you still kept saying wrong. It's not Shostakovich, it's Shostakovich. Please do the man the honor of saying his name right. Shostakovich. And I will say, mea culpa, Kelly. Sometimes it's weird. There are certain names that I will struggle with pronouncing right. I know that in early episodes I made a key faux pas, not pronouncing Poirot right. But we mean no respect to Mr. Shostakovich, the author, the composer of the opening theme, and we will try and say his name right in the future, and my apologies for the mistake on that. Thanks so much, Kelly. Finally, we have a tweet. The one negative on doing some of the short series is we don't get listener feedback until after we're done recording them. But we do have a tweet from D. Cody regarding the big guy, who writes, "It is sure different than the other shows you play, but not bad." Well, thanks so much, and I'm glad you enjoyed the big guy, and hope you'll enjoy Mr. Moto coming up next week. Well, also this weekend we will have the one public domain Mr. Moto movie. Mr. Moto's Last Warning will be this month's video theater. I'll have more details in terms of family friendliness and stuff like that. At the end of tomorrow's episode of the lineup. Well, remember, we will be back on Monday with another episode of Johnny Dollar, and on Friday, join us for a brand new Carter Brown story starting next Friday. Today's episode is brought to you by the financial support of our listeners. Thanks so much for your support. Today, I specifically want to thank Harry for his support. We'll be sending along access to our premium site, which we do with all donations of $7 or more. And you can support the show at support.greatdetectives.net. All right. Well, now it is time for today's episode of the lineup, The Wild Wild Woman Case.
Ladies and gentlemen, we take you now behind the scenes of a police headquarters in a great American city, where under the cold, glaring lights will pass before us the innocent, the vagrant, the thief, the murderer. This is The Lineup.
Show yet?
Still waiting. Smoke?
Yeah. Here you are.
May I have your attention, please? You people out there on the other side of the wire in the audience room, may I have your attention, please? Thank you. My name is Greb, Sergeant Matt Greb. I'll explain the lineup to you. Each of the suspects you will see will be numbered.
No sense of me sticking around here. What do you know?
Chadwick. Do you have any questions or identification?
Just in time, Mr. Chadwick. Sit down. It's Sergeant Asher.
Hello, Sergeant. At the end of each line, can I ask for questions or identification?
Park on Cedar Avenue. Well, you could have used the jail line.
If you're sure enough to sure the suspect have him held, the officers who took your name will assist you. They're seated among you. Please be prompt with your questions or identifications. When the prisoners leave here, they are sent to the washroom and dressed back into their jail clothes. It makes it quite difficult to bring them back after they leave here. The questions I ask these suspects are merely to get a natural tone of voice, so do not pay too much attention to their answers as they often lie. Bring on the line. All right, boys, all the way to the end of the stage. Come on, all the way to the end, that's right. Now turn and face front, hands out of your pockets, down at your sides, and look straight ahead. That's the ticket. Now I'm going to ask each of you some questions. I want you to stand out, talk up so the people in the back of the room can hear you. It's a long way back there, so talk up. Number 1, Foley O'Mahony, narcotics. What is it, Foley? O'Mahony or O'Mahony?
O'Mahony, Sergeant.
Speak up, come on. What's the address you gave?
The search is in Cape Town, South Africa. And that's my room, sir. That's my address.
Where's the last place you slept?
Right aboard my ship, sir. The Emerald Queen. She's at Pier 14.
You're a merchant seaman, right?
Yes, sir.
How long you been in town?
2 days, sir.
Those the clothes you were in when you were arrested?
Oh, yes, sir. These are my shore clothes, sir. That's my best, my very best, sir.
Stand up straight. Anyone arrested with you?
Yes, sir. A top name, Megan, sir.
Megan. That's number 17. He an American?
No, sir. Australian.
How long you known him?
For all my life, sir. We shipped together.
What are you using now, Foley? Heroin, cocaine, morphine, what?
Oh, sir, I'm not using anything, sir.
All right. Number 2, Edward Bible, Grand Theft Auto. Where do you live, Edward?
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
I live with my sister-in-law.
They can't hear him, Sergeant. They can't hear you out there, Edward. You'll have to speak louder. Tell them where you live again.
1550 Lafayette Street.
When the 2 officers signaled you to pull over to the side of the road, why didn't you stop instead of making them chase you?
Well, like I told the old boy upstairs, I didn't know they were policemen.
You didn't recognize their uniforms, prowl cars?
I have trouble with my eyes. They go back on me, just like that sometimes.
Yes, Edward.
I ain't never been in no trouble, never. Except once. Arrested on suspicious. That's all, just on suspicious.
Suspicious, huh?
That's right.
What about your conviction?
When?
June 7, 1948, 2 years for burglary.
Oh, Sergeant, I forgot all about that.
All right. Number 3.
I just borrowed that automobile from that man, Sergeant. When I know it was smashed on my doorbell and told me
All right. That's enough, Edward. Slide down to the end of the line.
Yes, sir. Just one of these folks you know. Yes,
All right. Number 3, John Tynan, robbery. Where do you live, John?
4200 Larimer Street.
What's that?
The Silver Moon Motel.
How long you lived there?
3 days.
Where'd you live before?
Topeka, Kansas.
Keep your hands at your sides. How long you been in town?
Got in last Sunday.
Come by bus, train, plane, or what?
I drove in with a man from Kansas City. We shared expenses and split the driving.
What'd you work, John?
Electrician.
Were you carrying a weapon when the officers arrested you?
Yeah, revolver.
What kind?
38.
Loose steel? Plated? What?
Nickel plated.
How long have you had it?
Well, I bought it for the trip. I didn't know the man I was traveling with, and I thought I ought to have something to protect myself with.
Where'd you buy it?
From a man in Topeka.
Okay, John. Number 4, Carl Powers, assault. Face front and speak up, Carl. You live at 1601 Cherry Street?
Yep.
How long you lived there?
Year.
The report says you were breaking furniture at that address.
They ganged up on me.
Who?
Mike and his wife.
Mike? Who's Mike?
Mike Bullet. Some double-jointed name I never could say.
Mike Boloniski? He's here too, you know.
I know.
Mike's got quite a shiner, Carl. So is his wife.
So have I.
Maybe all of you better lay off the hooch the next time you play cards. Any questions or identifications
How about
from
it,
the
Mr.
audience?
Chadwick? Number 3 fits the general description you gave.
Any questions or identifications from the audience?
I just don't think so, Lieutenant.
Lieutenant?
Nothing, Sergeant.
Okay, run them off. Bring on the next line.
3537 and AWD Park Norris Building, Suite 901.
Hi, Crockett. Oh, good. Number 16. Yeah. Isn't that the payoff? Yeah, who knows? You got anything yet? All right, let me know.
Hi.
Hi. You finished already?
Yeah, not many today. Chadwick didn't come through, huh?
No. Here, take a look at this.
All these places?
Yep. M.O.'s exactly the same. Pick out a little neighborhood jewelry store. She stays on the outside. He goes inside and cleans the place. They hit once and scram to the next town.
Ben, these descriptions are all pretty much alike, including the one we got from Chadwick. Hey, what about that? I thought sure Tynan was our boy.
Well, let's keep hauling them in.
Okay. Well, how'd you come out?
16. How about you?
33. I'll have to wait 2 more years for another exam. Unless 32 sergeants quit the force. You get a chance.
Oh, not much. I've never made more than 14 appointments in a 2-year period.
That's the way it goes with civil service. Well, at least the waiting's over, huh? That's something. Hey, some game, huh?
What do you mean, some game?
Sorehead.
Guthrie? Yeah. Denver? Mm-hmm. Well, hold on. Matt, what about Tynan?
Back at the city jail. Going to be arraigned on concealed weapons this afternoon.
It's okay. Thanks, Ray. Tynan may still be our boy, Matt. Chief of police in Denver wants us to hold. Jewelry store man there identified the picture we put on the wire last night. Get Chadwick up here. He's down looking through the mug file.
Lieutenant. I've been away from my store all morning.
It won't take too long, Mr. Chadwick. We just want to clarify a few matters. You want us to get the man and woman who held up your store, don't you?
Why, yes, of course.
Then why have you been wasting my time, your time, the department's time, Mr. Chadwick?
What?
Last Saturday morning, a man and woman stuck up your jewelry store. Happened approximately 11:30 in the morning. Before you went to the bank.
Now, just a minute, Lieutenant.
Let me finish and then you can talk. Besides a sizable amount of jewelry stock, you also reported that over $800 in cash was taken from your safe. As a matter of routine, our robbery division found out that you haven't deposited more than $400 in cash on any Saturday morning within the last 8 months. But we gave you the benefit of the doubt. You seemed in good faith and anxious to cooperate with us. Matt, hand me that.
Here you are, Ben.
Thanks. This is a picture that went out over the wire last night. It's the man you saw in the lineup this morning. His name's John Tynan. A victim in Denver identified this picture of the man working with an unidentified woman who held up his store. We're pretty certain he's the same man who held you up. Well, what have you got to say?
I guess I've caused you an awful lot of trouble.
Well, it isn't the first time a victim hasn't identified a thief because of the money he hoped to collect on his casualty policy. Well, Mr. Chadwick?
Yes, he's the man who held me up. Will I be booked or something?
How much cash did he actually get?
$360.
How much did you claim?
$800 plus.
Give him a form, Matt, so we can verify this identification.
Right.
I don't understand people sometimes. They whoop and holler and cry for law and order and protection. When they have an opportunity to do something active in the way of apprehending criminals, they pass it up.
Signed here, Mr. Chadwick.
Yeah.
And this copy, too.
Oh, what?
You better call your lawyer, Mr. Chadwick. Insurance companies don't like to be lied to either.
Retirements coming up next month.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Pete.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. Boy, sure been sweating it out.
Haven't we all?
Okay, Herb. What's that booking number again?
22689.
Didn't we let him out for your lineup today?
Uh-huh.
How's Molly?
Good.
Hey, Sergeant. Hey, Sergeant, I gotta see you, man. Just a minute. I got something to tell you.
Later, Ed, later.
Hey, but it's important, Sergeant.
Later, Ed.
No, don't forget.
Hi, Carl.
Well, Guthrie, how you been, Lieutenant?
Fine, thanks. Yourself?
Good. Hey, Lieutenant, why don't you get him to put radios in these places? At least while the series is on.
All right, knock it off, you guys. Knock it off. Some people want to get some sleep around here, you know. Tynan?
Yeah?
Come on.
Now what?
This way. There's no phone in here, Ben.
No, we won't need one. Thanks, Pete.
Sure.
Sit down, John. Smoke?
Sure.
Why the visit?
You're identified, John. Denver police want you for the same thing we picked you up on here. Mr. Chadwick here in town's identified you, too. Man, show him.
Here. Look him over.
Well, son?
What's it mean?
That depends on you. Ever been in trouble before?
No.
How old are you?
23.
Well, with or without a statement, you'll be indicted for grand theft and robbery. They can also throw in transporting stolen property, carrying concealed weapons. Be easier if you cooperate with us.
How long?
That's up to the judge of the Superior Court. But we'll be there to tell him how much you helped us or how much you didn't.
Her name's Irene Oldham. You can pick her up at the Albany Hotel. She's registered under the name of Mrs. Dick McBride.
Get a stenographer, man.
This Saturday night, CBS Radio catches up with the wandering caravan of Vaughn Monroe. After a one-month vacation, Vaughn, the Moon Maids, the Moon Man, and singing comic Ziggy Talent will again make music in the Monroe manner over most of these same stations. CBS Radio beams their season's premiere out to you this Saturday night. Don't miss it.
My desk. Smoke, John?
Thanks.
We'll get some facts first. You can take these, Hildy.
Hey, wait a minute. Did they pick up Irene yet?
They're doing it now.
Oh, I don't want to see her when they bring her in, Lieutenant.
They'll have to see her when you're arraigned.
But I don't want to see her now.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead. How long have you known Irene Oldham?
I met her 2 months ago.
Where?
My hometown, Topeka.
Go on, John.
We liked each other, Irene and me, and we decided to pull some jobs together.
Now, was it her idea or your idea?
Both of us, I guess. But she figured out a way to do it. The idea was to hit and run. So we took her car and went on the road. We'd go in a jewelry store and pretend like we were going to get married and wanted to pick out a ring. We'd wait until the store cleared if there were customers in there. Nobody suspected us. Even though Irene's almost 30, we both looked the same age, I guess. Well, when we had our chance, I'd gun the storeman and Irene keep a lookout in front. That's the way we planned it all the time. We'd stay in different places each town.
Where were you last Saturday morning at 11:30?
I was with Irene at a jewelry store on Eastern Avenue in this city.
Name the store.
The Elite Jewelry Company. We robbed it. I used a gun. .32 revolver that I bought in Topeka, Kansas. My accomplice in robbing in this robbery was Irene Oldham. She looked out the front while I stuck up the man inside. I took everything in the open cases in the store that looked valuable to me, and then I forced the man to open the safe. I remember it was $360 because the man had it already deposited in the bank. I went outside then and...
Hold it, John.
Well, checked out an hour ago. Just missed her. Hotel manager reported a big, nice-looking guy came and got her bag and baggage. Drove a cab, 51. Doorman thinks 62R first on the license numbers. Heard her call him Frank.
Well, see what you can do with license registration, Quine, and get out an APB on him. They can't get too far.
Right.
All right. Go ahead, John.
Well, I gave the money and the jewelry to Irene, like I'd been doing on all the jobs. Irene was saving it all for us. This was our last stop. We were going to get married and go to South America when we finished.
Went through the moniker file on that Frank.
Anything?
Well, about 16 possibilities from the description being worked on. Prints in her room matched up. She's a hometown girl.
Where'd she fall from?
This county. First time, January 1941. Automobile theft. R&I came up with this. Her name's Irene Kingston, alias Irene King, Irene Kensington, Irene Bradley, Helen Diamond. Got a mother living here, Mrs. Edith Kingston.
You get a make and one on this Irene yet?
Mm-hmm. Asher's holding it for you downstairs. She's got a red flag since 1948.
What's the charge?
Murder.
Mrs. Kingston?
Yes?
Police. I'm Lieutenant Guthrie. This is Sergeant Greb. We'd like to talk to you.
About Irene?
Yes.
Come in. Sit down. Just a minute, I'll turn this thing off. What is it this time?
Irene's in town, Mrs. Kingston.
Well, I haven't seen her.
She hasn't contacted you at all?
She hasn't contacted me since she was 16, Sergeant.
You mean you haven't seen your daughter since she was 16, Mrs. Kingston?
I mean, yes, I've seen her. She's lived here with me at different times when she wasn't running around or in prison.
And when was the last time you saw her?
3 years ago.
She hasn't contacted you in all this time?
I said no before, Lieutenant. I can't help you.
Maybe you can, Mrs. Kingston. Do you know any of Irene's friends here in town?
I told you I haven't seen her for 3 years.
Well, we mean some old friends she might have known when you were seeing her, when she lived here with you.
I don't know any of them. They'd come here now and then. I never wanted them in the apartment. Some I remember, some I don't, I guess.
Well, this is our job, Mrs. Kingston. If it weren't us, it'd be somebody else. Your daughter's wanted for robbery and murder. We're trying to get a line on anyone she knew at all. Anyone she might see while she's in town. Any place she might stay. Have you got the list, ma'am?
Oh, yeah.
There's several names in her file downtown of people she associated with here. Maybe you know some of them or can tell us where we can locate them.
I told you I can't help you.
Well, let's try anyhow.
A man named Hal Ames?
No. I don't even recognize that name.
Louis Wenberg?
No.
William Doyle? Rosetta Mays? Paul Pratt?
Rosetta Mays.
Hmm?
She went to high school with Irene. She died last year in childbirth.
John Eby? Leonard Ipwich?
You don't recognize any of those names, huh?
No. I'm not good at names at all. Maybe if I saw the faces, I could tell you something about them.
Mrs. Kingston, Irene came in town last weekend with a boy named John Tynan. We have him in custody already. She was staying at the Albany Hotel calling herself Mrs. Dick McBride. She checked out just before we got there. A man she called Frank picked her up. Do you know anybody she used to call Frank?
No.
Our description says he's a big man, over 6 feet, around 200 pounds or better. Dark hair,
I can't help you a bit. I've never been able to help the police. I've never been able to help Irene. She got a taste of the gutter once and she liked it. And that's it. Don't you understand? Don't you understand?
Oh, thanks, Mr. Kingston. Come on, then. Bye.
Bye.
And let's get some men on this place 24 hours a day.
Yep.
I wish we'd get something.
We will.
We had that APB out on her and that Frank less than an hour after they started. We got all the roads covered, airports, bus stations, harbors.
And don't forget her mother's apartment. Don't forget that.
Yeah. I hate to keep so many men tied up.
Hey there. Matt, Ben, how are you?
Fine, Joe. 13J in?
Yeah, you want it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sign here.
All right.
Okay. Parked about halfway down the line.
I see her. Thanks, Joe.
See you, Joe.
Yeah.
You know, this baby could stand a paint job.
You say... hold it, man. Joe's waiting.
What do you want, Joe? Oh, Quine's on the phone, Ben. I thought it'd save time instead of a 1041.
Right. Guthrie. When? Okay. Thanks, Joe.
Sure, Ben.
Quine's picked up Frank out at the airport. Let's go, man. Any trouble, Quine?
No, like a lamb. Bought 2 tickets for the 5 o'clock plane. He used the name Mr. and Mrs. Frank Peterson. That was on his license, too. Frank Peterson.
Bring any luggage?
Checked it through already.
And what'd he say?
Not a word. Asher's got him here.
Hiya, Matt. Ben.
Hi.
Hi. Are you Frank Peterson? Well, let me tell you. You are Frank Peterson. You've already bought 2 tickets and checked your luggage. You're going to meet Irene Kingston here. Now, look, we'd rather pick her up where she's staying. Someone might get hurt around here. Where is she, Frank? Where's Irene Kingston? All right, take him down and book him. Anything, Matt?
No, nothing. Asher and Quine are covering the main entrance. Murphy and Carter, the parking lot. Hughes at the cab stand, and Blaker went over to the other terminal just in case she might have made a mistake.
10 minutes to 5. Something should happen pretty soon.
If it's going to happen. You know, she might have been counting on a call from Frank or something. She ran out on Tynan when he didn't call.
Yeah, it's a chance.
Some gal.
Yeah. Out front.
Yeah.
She came in on a cab. I tagged her right after she pulled up, but she had a gun.
You all right?
My leg. I was lucky. She kicked off her shoes and ran for the field. Asher took out after her.
That way?
Yeah.
Hey, you there. Call an ambulance.
Come on, man.
Right. Through the parking lot, then.
There's Asher. Yeah, he got her.
Can't figure why she was running for that field.
You still alive?
Uh-huh. How's Quine?
Nick, you okay?
Yeah. I'll get an ambulance out.
Yeah. Well, just 5 o'clock. That must be their plane. Wonder where they were going.
South America.
Before you pass the innocent, the vagrant, the thief, the murderer. Listen again next week when we again bring you The Lineup.
May I have your attention, please? All right. You people out there on the other side of the wire in the audience room, may I have your attention, please? Thank you. My name is Greb. Sergeant Matt Greb. I'll explain the lineup to you. Each of the suspects you will see will be numbered. I'll call off a number, their name and charge. If you have any questions or identifications, please assigned to the prisoner as I call his name. At the end of each line, I ask him
The lineup, starring Bill Johnstone as Lieutenant Ben Guthrie and Wally Mayer as Sergeant Matt Grebb, was written by E. Jack Newman with music composed and conducted by Eddie Dunstetter. Featured in tonight's cast were Peter Leeds, Hy Averback, Herb Butterfield, Howard McNear, Gil Stratton Jr., Ray Hartman, and Jeanette Nolan. The lineup is produced and directed by Jaime Del Valle. Saturday, Joan Crawford stars in I Knew This Woman, a poignant drama of family life when Stars Over Hollywood launches its 11th big season of dramatic hits on CBS Radio. Stars Over Hollywood is heard every Saturday in the daytime hours on most of these same CBS radio stations. Remember, it's 2 hours of music, the nation's favorite songs, every Friday evening on the CBS Radio Network.
Welcome back. Well, it's kind of an interesting tactic in getting the witness to change their identification by telling the witness that they knew he lied. But also kind of an interesting scheme as well. I was a little confused by the civil service exam thing. Because it seemed like earlier in the show it mentioned Guthrie and Grebbs having taken an exam and being ranked higher, and it seemed a little soon for another a round of exams, but I may have missed that. If you remember the episode, and I'm misremembering it somehow, let me know. All right, well, listener comments and feedback, and Joel says the composer is Shostakovich. I got it. I hope. Shostakovich. As for the big size, in his giant size, really a funny story tells his kids and not to mean literal. I assume that is the case since no characters in the show make reference to a 20-foot tall man with size 900 shoes. It's an odd and endearing program. Thanks for bringing it to me. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I know it's a story for the kids. It just throws your imagination off the first time you hear it. But then again, most of the detective shows, they don't, the detectives rarely describe themselves, I've noticed. All right. Well, this will actually do it for today. I do want to let you know about Mr. Moto. Mr. Moto's Last Warning. It's the 6th movie in the Mr. Moto series. A pretty good entry. Only film, Mr. Moto film in the public domain. Certainly, of course, released in the late 30s. It's certainly not gory or anything, but violence is a little heavier than in some of the other items we've played. But, yeah. I doubt it would, lead to a movie getting more than a PG rating, but just be advised on that. All right, well, we will see you tomorrow for the movie, and then join us back here on Monday. We'll start again with yours truly, Johnny Dollar. In the meanwhile, send your comments to box13@greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter, Radio Detectives, and become one of our friends on Facebook, facebook.com/Radio Detectives. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.